Yes, sir! We're already recording our intro. Wait, I'm gonna rant for like a minute, and then we will stream. All right, and then we will react. I'm even gonna record my 1 minute. I'm only a 1 minute rant, and then we will continue with Shadow Slave Volume 3 greatness. All right, here we go. This is my one and only rant. This is gonna be our only fucking tangent this whole day. I am so... Time me, 1 minute. I am so fucking upset that Square Enix canceled the next Kingdom Hearts fucking mobile game. Missing Link was set up to be this fucking bridge in between the previous arc and the new Kingdom Hearts saga. I don't believe it. Time me. 50 seconds left. Somebody fucking leaked the opening cinematic. They showed fucking Brain. They showed fucking Sigurd. They showed all these fucking characters in Skull Column, and the game is fucking axed. They had like fucking Kingdom Hearts astronauts going underwater, fighting Heartless. All this crazy shit was happening, and the game is canceled. The song fucking slapped. The CG fucking slapped. Oof. Bro, Square Enix is one of my favorite gaming companies. 10 seconds left. But these mobile games, oh my god. They keep getting canceled left and right. First FF14 didn't even make it on Chinese market, and now this game gets canceled. Ah! And now, here today, I just had to get that off my chest because there's nobody to talk to about it. None of my IRL friends play Kingdom Hearts. It's just me and my bro, so. Anyways, today we will be finishing. I was gonna say Kingdom Hearts. Today we will be finishing Shadow Slave Volume 3, my brothers and sisters. Why? I don't fucking know, man. It's like they can't keep fucking mobile games up for more than a year at this point, and now they're canceling them before they come out. Sorry. No stalling. Stalling Star is over. Stalling Star gives into his fly, and that's over. We're done. Now we lock in. What is the finale going to be? Will it be Cassie and Sunny falling into the black void? Hello, future YouTube. Hello, indeed. This video should be premiering in 2 days. This video will premiere in 2 days. Because tomorrow RMGI goes live. I'm sorry, VOD people, you're watching this right now. People watching it live, I think 2 days. That way I have like a 1 day off in between to catch up with other stuff. But let's go, dude. Fuck this stupid stalling intro. Let's get right into it, bro. I'm not even gonna say like, comment, sub. You know what I do, bro. We're approaching chapter 600. Let's get into it, dude. And we are now wearing Weaver's cap. Stalling Star is gone. Hello, Streamer Star. Oh shit, I'm actually choking now. Chapter 584 is called A Dark Ocean. Oh, okay. Oh, a dark ocean of blood, right? Because it's kind of dark and you can't really see. Chapter 584 is called A Dark Ocean. Well froze, but only for a moment. Oh, wait, we forgot. Let me get my little mic stand. Final Fantasy music box. And my 3DS. Let's get a little boost so my mic isn't so far away. Well froze, but only for a moment. Then she threw Cassie aside and dashed towards the door. Disappearing in a blur, Sunny was pushed away, rolling on the floor and almost crashing against one of the empty mirror frames. By the time he regained his balance, she was already gone. Pierce growled and then threw a murderous look at him and screamed, "Kill them." With that, he dashed out of the chamber too, dismissing most of the echoes to take them with him. The fools, I understood the reference. Sorry. We'll chill with the fool with the reference jokes. The fools still hoped that they could save their men or avenge them at least. Sunny also couldn't really be mad at Pierce for ordering their death. He would have done the same now that their plan to bind Mordred had failed. The next best option was to make sure that there were no more vessels for him to possess. The Sentinels were already as good as that. That left only Sunny. Really? So only one vessel remains. However, Sunny was not the one to let go of the grudge. Curse you, you bastard. There were only 2 echoes remaining in the mirror chamber. One was moving towards Cassie, already thrusting its sword forward. The other was towering over Sunny, its head battle axe raised. Sunny glared at the echo, not amused. At the next moment, a Stygian serpent appeared from the shadows. Oh, let's go, fucking soul serpent. At the next moment, a Stygian serpent appeared from the shadows behind the creature, wrapping it along a powerful body around the macabre effigy. Then its head shot forward, the maw opened to a terrible whiff. Sharp fangs closed on both sides of the Echo's face, easily piercing through the skull and crushing it with a grisly crunch. I'm sorry, should we be playing battle music already? Hard stop, we are playing battle music already. This sounds kind of fucking hype. All right, lowering the volume a bit. If it's too loud, too low, give me a... let me know, and then I'll see what's the average consensus. At the same time, Cassie rose to one knee and deflected her enemy's sword with a long dagger. A slender rapier flashed from behind, piercing the creature, neck emerging from its other side in a shower of blood. Both echoes fell to the floor, disintegrating into a rain of sparks. From start to finish, they had not made the sound. Sunny rushed to Cassie and bent down, trying to ascertain the severity of her wound, her voice tense and worried. Are you okay? It's a full fight? Dude! Hopefully you guys don't get annoyed with this song, because it's going to be looping until we're done. We'll probably play the other one, the longer version, but we'll see. There was blood flowing down from her delicate neck, but the cut seemed shallow and not at all dangerous. A sense of profound relief spread through his chest. The blind girl nodded. I'm fine to go. There won't be another opportunity. He hesitated for a moment, then rose without saying a word and stepped into the shadows. Cassie was right. There would not be another chance. They were faced with two equal threats. One was a pair of the Ascended Knights, and the other was a cursed hellspawn Mordred himself. So they had to make sure that all three died today. Well, two of them, he didn't know how to destroy the Mirror Fiend, so leaving Mordred without a vessel was going to have to suffice. We'll see how that works, man. I am curious how the fuck we get out of this. Previously, Sunny had left one of his shadows at the precipice of the stairway, and then commanded it to hide. Now he appeared out of it, turning into a shadow himself, just in time to see Welf and Pierce shoot past him fast. Most of the Night Temple was submerged in darkness. Now no one was alive to keep the lanterns aflame. Pitch blackness. Crazy setting, dude. Now he appeared out of it, turning into a shadow himself, just in time to see Welf and Pierce shoot past him fast. Most of the Night Temple was submerged in darkness. Now, we're rereading this just for you guys, just to make sure we're all on the same track. Most of the Night Temple was submerged in darkness now that no one was alive to keep the lanterns aflame. Rushing through it, he followed the masters and reached the doors of the last stronghold of the Valor forces almost at the same instant as them. Wolf simply crashed through the door, pulverizing it into a cloud of splinters. What met them inside was a bloodbath. The encampment of the Lost was unrecognizable. Before, it had been clean and ordinary, somewhat somber, but looking like a well-inhabited space. Now all Sunny could see was blood. The floor was slick with blood, and so were the walls. Even the ceiling was painted red. What the fuck, even the walls? All of the hall was one vast morbid pool of crimson liquid with severed limbs and mangled bodies sprouting into, some of them mutilating so thoroughly that it was almost impossible to recognize them as the former humans. The sight of it was revolting and horrid, and in the center of this vile slaughterhouse, a lone figure was sitting cross-legged, a carefree smile on her lips. The beautiful female sentinel looked different too. So it was him, dude. Her appearance was the same, but everything else about her, her breathing, her gaze, her presence, had changed. It was relaxed and friendly, almost polite. Oh my god. I've been coming to all these streams and you could never see me. Oh, we do see you, Of Money. So her appearance was the same, but everything else about her, her bearing, her gaze, her presence had changed. It was relaxed and friendly, almost polite. She looked exactly how Mordred had sounded back when he and Sunny spoke in the lightless abyss of the sky below. The dissonance between her pleasant demeanor and the gruesome bloodbath surrounding her was ghastly, bizarre, and deeply disturbing. When the two masters appeared inside of the hall, 8 echoes weaving themselves from sparks of light around them, Mordred smiled widened. He absent-mindedly threw a knife cut out of a single piece of pristine white stone into the air, then caught it again and somehow made it disappear without a trace. Ah, Sir Piers, Lady Welf, you have finally made it. Damn, dude, this motherfucker. Then he shifted his gaze and looked directly at Sunny like, my perfect vessel is finally within reach. Then he shifted his gaze and looked directly at Sunny, who was hiding in the shadows near the door. And you, Sunless, it is such a pleasure to finally meet you face to face. Well, I guess we've already met a few days ago. Still, what an occasion. I've waited for it for a long, long time. He looked back to Wolf and Pierce. His smile remained the same, but his eyes growing cold and frightening as though there was a dark ocean of unfathomable depth hiding beneath the surface full of harrowing terrors. But not as long as I've waited to meet the two of you. Really? Pierce growled, taking a step forward. You bastard. Is it because he wants to kill him? Mordred threw his head back and laughed. What? Don't you like my handiwork? I've tried so hard just to impress you. He grinned and slowly rose to his feet, the friendly smile disappearing from his face. Instead, an expression of dark, cold, murderous wrath appeared on it. 6 years, 6 long years, you have kept me in the empty mausoleum. You and the rest of the great, noble, illustrious clan Valor. The female sentinel outstretched her hand, summoning a simple sword from the thin air. You destroyed my body, stole my birthright. You even destroyed my reflections. But no matter. I had plenty of time to think of ways to repay your generosity. The things I have in store for you. This fucking dude is twisted, dude. Yo, I said, yo, what's up? And the auto-translated messed up. Really? They were sub? That is so funny. Oh my. Where am I done? When I am done with Clan Valor, the word itself will gain a new meaning. Even the gods will look up from their graves and tremble. Mordred smiled and then said evenly, not moving his gaze away from Pearson Wealth. What do you think, Sunless? You and I have no quarrel. Well, unless you are still angry about the little deception of mine, I can't really blame you. These two, however, will never let you leave this place alive. Oh my god, shall we join forces? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Is that what's gonna happen? Shall we join forces, deal with them, and then escape together? I could be lying, of course. This fucking dude. Maybe I'll just use you again, then kill the little oracle of yours and take your body, who knows? Sunny lingered for a moment, then stepped out of the shadows, appearing between Mordred and the Masters. Wolf glanced at him for a hint of concern, Pierce grimaced, and uttered through gritted teeth. Don't do anything stupid, boy. The thing isn't even human. I don't know what was done to him, but he had not been a human for a long, long time. He will consume your soul and wear your body like a suit, and even then, it won't be of any use once Lord Cormac returns. Even that which remains of you will be obliterated. It's not too late. Join us, and together we can stop this demon. So it's weird. The fact that they say he's no longer human, it almost sounds like if he's been corrupted, which leads me to believe that he was corrupted the same way, like, I don't know. Do you remember how, like, the Forgotten Shores, the whole land corrupted and all that? I don't know. I feel like there's this theme of corruption, right? I don't know. Like, and I wonder if there's, like, a physical force or entity that, like, corrupts people, but we'll see. Sunny stared at him for a bit, then glanced at Mordred. Finally, he sighed. He took a few steps and stopped beside the female sentinel. Saint and the Soul Serpent appeared from the shadows to his left and right. Together, the four of them, Sunny, Mordred, and the two shadows, faced the two Knights of Valor and the 8 human echoes. Sunny smirked. I am somewhat of a demon myself, you know. Oh, it's gonna be a fucking good fight, dude. This is gonna be such a good fucking... Oh my god, drop mic 1. This is gonna be such a fucking good fight. Alright, chapter 585. The mic is a little bit more back, just so I'm a little bit quicker doing my timestamps. So this should be for the greater good. Chapter 585 is called Clash. As the cruel edge... Am I recording? And our stream deck is on here. Okay. As the cruel edge started to manifest itself from the swirling dark mist of the helmet of the Undying Chain, it was being summoned into existence. Sunny had a moment to evaluate their chances. The result wasn't too good. He didn't know how powerful exactly Mordred was, but the chances that he was considerably stronger than their enemy seemed to be slim enough to be considered non-existent. Otherwise, the banished prince would not have had to rely on his cunning so much. From how they were positioned and the little details of everyone's gaze, Sunny knew that Wealth was aiming for Mordred and vice versa. That meant that he was going to have to face Pierce, while Saint and the Serpent would be tasked with holding back the echoes. Bro! There's 49 people? Holy shit, you guys are excited for the finale today, huh? He wasn't too worried for Saint, who was an ascendant and excelled in defense and durability. The Serpent, however, would have to be really careful. Saint was most worried about himself, though. He was not going to underestimate Pierce. The man was not only a master, but also an elite. A knight of the great clan Valor, he was as formidable as he was deadly. His aspect made Pierce resistant to all sorts of attacks as well. With this in mind, Sunny commanded the two shadows to wrap themselves around his body and reluctantly send one of the saints to ascend or not. Fight against the 8 echoes was going to test the limits of her ability. I'm sorry, the saint is going to take on 8 human echoes at once? That was all the time he had to prepare long before the cruel edge finished weaving itself from the mist. The blood-soaked hall of the somber cathedral exploded with violence and motion. Wolf's eyes suddenly shone with a hypnotic scarlet light and Mordred staggered as he was dashing forward. A pain groan escaped from his lips and his movement slowly slowed down considerably. In the next moment, the body of the female sentinel shimmered and disappeared. Moving with terrifying speed, Wolf lunged forward and then spun her slender saber colliding against something mid-air. The clashing of the blades echoed amid the black stones, and two fissures appeared on the layers of blood covering the floor as if something was sliding back, pushing away by the force of the impact. At the same time, the 8 echoes attacked the creatures, moved with frightening precision of the soulless machines. Coordinating their assaults was enough cohesion to make them a fearsome threat. Although their intelligence couldn't compare to the actual humans, the morbid effigies retained enough of the skill of their originals to fight almost as human warriors would. Each of them possessed an aspect too. Oh, that's not good. Sane collided with their formation like a demon born out of darkness. Her knight's shield is fucking cool, dude. I love how fucking cool the fights are in Shadow Slave. Like, it goes 0 to 100 so fucking fast, dude. Her knight's shield received a rain of blows as the Midnight Shard shot forward. The Soul Serpent submerged into the shadows and flowed through them, appearing behind the 6 advancing echoes to lunge at the 2 whose aspect abilities allowed them to perform range attacks. And lastly, there was Sunny. Pierce descended upon him like a siege ram, bringing down his longsword with enough force to make the whole hall tremble. Even augmented by 2 shadows, Sunny was still unable to compete with the master in terms of physical ability. But shut up, it's not that far? But the gap between them wasn't large enough for him to be instantly overwhelmed. Damn, he is fucking strong. Sidestepping, he received the edge of the enemy's sword of the vambrace of the wait, I'm sorry, where's the 3rd shadow? Tunnel vision. Did he augment Soul Serpent or Saint with the 3rd shadow? Because there's only 2. Or does he have one on his weapon? Vambrace of the Undying Chain, angling it in a way that allows for most of the force to be deflected instead of absorbing, and threw his other hand forward of the ghostly blade of the Moonlight Shard, glistening dimly as it appeared out of nowhere, aimed to pierce his throat. Shadow, not echo anymore. Got it. The master simply lowered his head, allowing the tip of the stiletto to slide off the check guard of his... Wait, no, I don't get that. What do you mean? Sunny jumped back, not at all disappointed by the failure of his treacherous blows. It had not been meant to do any damage anyways. It just had to buy the cruel edge to finally maintain itself in material form, and now it had. Sunny thrust the somber spear forward, forcing the enemy to dodge out of the way and give him a moment to breathe. Strong, that bastard is just too strong. Saint best shadow, she is my favorite shadow. But Soul Serpent, he's putting in work. Through the inset of Shadow Dance, and he could see and understand some of the Ascended Knight's battle techniques. Pierce possessed explosive strength with enough agility to channel it into almost inescapable attacks. His understanding of combat was tremendously deep, sharpened by years upon years of relentless training and countless battles. A warrior of such skill was not going to be led into an easy trap. His control of Soul Essence was also on a completely different level. From what Sunny could perceive, the master was using it with terrifying efficiency, achieving results that he himself couldn't even dream of, especially without the help of Soul Serpent. That was a core difference between them and his main disadvantage. The only advantage he had really was the Undying Chain. The Transcendent armor was durable enough to withstand a few blows from Pierce, and his high divine affinity only made it stronger. He just had to make sure that he doesn't receive the brutal blows directly. His body beneath the bleak steel was not resilient. Yeah, it's just the armor. Neither here nor Pierce possessed aspect abilities capable of dealing direct damage, so this fight was going to be decided by skill, cunning, and the hidden aces they were saving for the right moment. Problem was, Sunny didn't have to have any aces left, at least none that would work for the Fearsome Master. He was already going all out. Sunny had a split second to check on how the others were doing before resuming the deadly dance of death with Pierce. He quickly glanced to the side and saw the Soul Serpent entangling with the 2 echoes, dodging destructive attacks as it slithered around him. I'm sorry, I wonder, if we kill an echo, will we be able to obtain said echo, or does it already have to be living? Like, we can't slay an echo and then be like, oh, you have acquired an echo. Like, you have acquired that echo because we killed it, right? It doesn't work that way? Or at least it's... I don't think so. Nope, right? Okay. As it slithered around them, Saint was forced into a defensive stance, being barged by constant strikes as he somehow... Hey, you guys caught that? We have low latency today. And saw the Soul Serpent entangled with 2 echoes dodging destructive attacks as it slithered around him. Saint was forced into a defensive stance, being barged by constant strikes as he somehow managed to deflect all of them with the patient Avenger and the Midnight Shard. Mordred and Wolf seemed to be on a temporary stalemate. Really? On even footing? Or at least that was how it had seemed. The second master was moving too fast and their battle was too bizarre to really tell. Sonny gritted his teeth, curses. He couldn't divide his attention anymore. If he wanted to win against Pierce, he had to focus all of it on him and make sure that the bastard had no time to pay attention to anyone else. Next fucking chapter, dude. Cold Steel. Oh. Chapter 586 is called Stone Cold Steel. Sonny used everything he had, moving with unimaginable speed, agility, and precision. Both Shadow Essence and tenacious blood of Weaver flowed through his body, supplying his muscles with the strength and endurance necessary to perform with such an inhuman level of effort. His mind was aflame, devouring information about his surroundings and the enemy's movements, making lightning-fast decisions, trying to predict countless portable eventualities, and simultaneously studying the sophisticated battle style of the battle-hardened master. The fact that he can, like, be on par with a fucking master, bruh, that's what I'm saying. And despite all that, he was barely surviving Pierce's unrelentless assault. Every moment, he was just a split second away from death. The Knight of Valor was just too powerful and skilled and overbearing. His cold eyes were full of calculating ruthlessness and dark, iron-killing intent. They were calm and focused like an experienced predator stalking helplessly prey. The prey, unfortunately, was Sonny. Damnation. Nothing he had experienced could have prepared him for this. Sonny had fought many opponents that were stronger and faster than him, but he had never been this outmatched in terms of sheer power. At least not in the fight against a human who, unlike most nightmare creatures, also possessed a keen mind, devious, cunning, and martial skills that were the greatest weapons of his kind. Maybe only Morgan of Valor. I was gonna bring that up. I feel like she was the strongest, or she was the strongest opponent up against him. Maybe only Morgan of Valor, but she had held back, and theirs had not really been a battle to the death. Sonny and Pierce clashed on the bloodied stones, their weapons flashing through the air fast enough to leave after images behind. The clangor of metal filled the somber hall, mixing with the furious sounds of the battle coming from their left. There, two different storms of metal raged violently, one centered around Mordred and Wolf, the other was from his shadows, fought echoes of the fearsome master. Sonny had no time to look that way, but he could hear the constant ringing of blades landing on Saint's shield. There were so many blows that their sounds almost merged into one dreadful, uninterrupted litany of steel, like harmony, like the sounds of steel. Okay. He had not heard of the spell yet, so he knew that none of the echoes had been destroyed. The shadow were in one piece as well. Even he didn't know whether or not they were still whole, damaged, or dying. He deflected another strike of Pierce's swift longsword and then wiped the butt of the cruel side forward, hoping to catch the enemy in the face. Helmet or not, such a strike was bound to deliver some damage. Pierce received the blow calmly and didn't even flinch. Instead, he lunged forward and rammed it into Sonny with his shoulder, sending him flying back. Curse that bastard, is he made of stone or what? One would say cold steel. Sonny twisted in the air and landed on his feet, tasting blood in his mouth. The shoulder bash was powerful enough to shatter a stone wall. His tempered bones had not shattered though. Gritting his teeth, he immediately shifted, dodging a powerful thrust, and brought his spear down on the enemy. Fine, this is mine. The longer I survive, the better I understand his style. The better I understand the style, the longer I'll survive. I'm sorry, what are the fucking odds we conquered the third shadow dance? I feel like it's too soon, right? The two of them fought ferociously, neither showing any signs of doubt, hesitation, or weakness. Yes, Sonny was younger and less powerful, but he was skilled and unexperienced too. He was ruthless, cunning, he was a killer himself. Pierce had managed to land several deliberating blows, rattling his entire body. The undying chin held, but beneath it, Sonny was bruised and battered. However, he had been able to break through the knight's defenses and deliver a few strikes of his own. The results were less than ideal, though. Even when he succeeded in thrusting the tip of the cruel side through a crack in the enemy's armor, it was like trying to cut through a monster's hide. He only managed to burn the bastard little and make a few drops of blood roll down. That's it. All that for a drop of blood. Did you guys understand that reference or not? Where's that from? All that for a drop or for a speck of blood. Why was Divine Flame not as destructive as it should have been? What was wrong with this monster? Pierce pushed him away, briefly glancing at the shallow wounds, and grinned darkly, not showing any indication of being bothered by it. 69 people? Nice. Nice. Is this all you can do? Not enough. Not nearly enough, little rat. Fucking little rat? Really? This fucker. Sunny growled, "Shut your mouth, you suddenly have time to waste breath." With that, he attacked again, this time switching the enchantment of the mirror blade from incandescent flame to invisible insidious soul damage. Let's fucking go, dude. Pierce snarled and deflected the blow without too much effort. It was almost time, though. Time for what? Time for what? When the master decided to speak, without doubt aiming to distinct and agitate the opponent, Sunny had a split second to steal a glance at how his shadows were doing. The serpent was on the verge of destroying one of the echoes and had already wounded another. Saint was doing worse. Faced with 6 opponents, she could launch a successful attack. Some of the echoes surrounding her were severely wounded, but none seemed to be close to death. That was not her task, though. Actually, Sunny preferred that she didn't eliminate any of the echoes. He wanted them all in one piece, constantly attacking to attack into her night. I'm sorry, why? Why not kill him? Landing more and more blows on her shield, the patient avenger, but now its surface was glowing with an angry orange light. Ah! So we can deflect it, right? So it's like fucking vibranium steel where you can like deflect it. Got it. I forgot about that. As if there were furious flames burning beneath the cold steel, and there were any sense. A string of runes surfaced in his memory. Cold steel enchantment description. The shield can store a portion of the impact damage. Yeah, okay. I remember. I forgot, but I remember. It's literally vibranium steel where it can just channel it back, dude. The shield can store a portion of impact damage it receives to augment another weapon of its wielder or unleash an molting wave of fire. Well, by now, the patient avenger received more than enough impact damage to unleash an ocean of flame. A few more strikes and it was going to overload, sending all the fire outward. Just as Sunny thought, the 2 more strikes landed on the shield and the angry orange glow turned brighter, slowly turning incandescent white. Currently, Saint was wielding the Blood Blossom charm as well, with all the dismembering corpses lying around. Oh, it's being boosted. Its enchantment had long reached its limit, augmenting all the memories and shadows wielded with rampant strength. Damn! Sunny blocked Pierce's strike and slid back, but his hands trembling from the force of it. At the same time, Saint spun and deflected 2 more swords with her shield. Its surface was almost entirely white now. Almost there, damn. Sunny gave a mental command, and the shadow that had been augmenting Saint flowed from the graceful demon's body, one of the furious shining shields. Another blow landed on the patient avenger. Saint braced, putting her shoulder behind it. Crap. In the next moment, a terrifying explosion rattled the entirety of the inner sanctum. Is that a good thing or bad thing? The explosion, right? I assume it's the Saint shield. Chapter 587 is called The Explosion. Just a moment before the patient avenger detonated, Sunny fell backwards and dove into the shadow cast by a wide stone pillar. He noticed a hint of surprise in Pierce's eyes, and the next second, everything was suddenly drowning by the blinding white light. The sound came a thunderous roar that would have probably distorted his ears if he had not turned into a shadow. Then the shockwave arrived, obliterating the pillar and turning it into a massive flying rubble. Sunny's shelter was destroyed, and he was thrown back in the corporeal world just in time to be engulfed by a terrifying molting flame. Luckily, he had summoned the memory of fire at the very start of the fight, protected by its enchantment and by the undying chain. Sunny had withstood the terrifying heat. His eyes were tightly shut, and so only his eyelids were singed. The explosion had turned out to be much more powerful than he had expected. Really? It's that strong? Damnation, the hall was completely decimated. Mordred is currently facing off against Wealth. Yeah, like he's currently fighting her. The hall was completely decimated. The pillar supporting its ceiling had... Why am I saying Welch? It's Wealth. Wealth. The pillar supporting its ceiling had been destroyed and its walls had cracked, some sections crumbling completely. The bodies of the murdered lost were practically erased from existence, and everything was obscured by a cloud of stone dust mixed with the crimson mist which had appeared as the pool of the blood had evaporated. In all the mayhem, Sunny was able to sense a few familiar shapes. The serpent had emerged in with the shadows before the explosion had hit. So it was unharmed. Saint, however, was not as lucky. Her entire left arm had been torn off at the shoulder. Really? The onyx armor mangled and revealed a scorched alabaster skin. Fine ruby dust was flowing from the terrible wound, falling to the floor like a stream of morbid hourglass, as if counting off how long she had left to live. Wow, that is crazy. So like that's basically her blood. That was a result of augmenting and overloading an ascended to memory. Even the wielder was not safe from the consequences, as it turned out. Sunny's mouth twitched and he immediately dismissed the Tackington Knight that called back to his third shadow. The short moment before it reached him and wrapped itself around his body had managed to sense and wrest the devastating haul. The echoes seemed to be obliterated. Wealth was kneeling at a distance, shaken and superficially, she's struggling, and superficially wounded but still alive. Mordret was sprawling on the floor, seemingly thrown out of his invisibility. Only Pierce was still on his feet, as if not affected by the explosion at all. His armor was battered and scorched, wisps of smoke rising from the cracks, but the master himself appeared unperturbed. In fact, his murderous intensity only grew more suffocating. He was like an impregnable stone cliff that could never be brought down by the raging winds. Not wishing to reveal himself, Sunny surprised an infuriating growl and silently dashed forward. The silver blade of the cruel sight whistled quietly, shooting towards the bastard's heart. However, at the last moment, Pierce shifted and easily deflected the blow with his sword, throwing the spear off course, his armor fist flash flying towards Sunny's head. When the blow so it did hit him. When the blow connected, Sunny was blinded for a moment. His eyes were still closed, but it was as if something exploded behind his eyelids. At the same time, his mind blanked. He only felt the world spinning. Disoriented, Sunny continued his lunge and collided with a fearsome master. Bro, this is gonna be so crazy when we get to in the webcomic. The impact threw them both to the ground in a clatter of metal. They flew back, they collided against the stone floor. Pierce grabbed Sunny by the throat and drove a knee into his abdomen, causing another explosion of pain to spread through his body and sending him rolling over his head and away. But not before Sunny free hand snarked towards one of the cracks in the Ascended Knight armor and planted something deep into his flesh. A long, narrow needle forged out of black steel with gold wire wrapping around one of its ends. Driven with all of Sunny's strength, the heavenly burden sunk into Pierce's flesh almost entirely, with only a few centimeters sticking out of his skin and barely visible in the narrow fissure marging the surface of the knight's armor. Of course, such a tiny needle was not going to wound a master seriously, or even slow down his movements, but the damage was not what Sunny was using it for. So what's he using it for? Rolling on the ground, he twisted and landed on his knees, sliding a few steps back and almost instantly regaining his balance. A few meters away, Pierce was already rising to his feet too. His eyes were brimming with killing intent, and his longsword was glistening as it reflected the flames burning around them. He was ready to finish this fight, but then something strange happened. The fearsome master suddenly swayed, a confused expression appeared on his face. A moment later, the soles of his armored boots separated from the stone floor and rose into the air. The heavily burden was a memory Sunny had exchanged for the contribution points after helping Master Jet put down the Demented Awaken. The heavenly burden... Oh, it's the one he exchanged. Shadow Blade Kurt. Master Jet put down the Demented Awaken Shadow Blade Kurt. Its single enchantment was simple and straightforward. Living beings pierced by the needle would float up and up and up until it was removed. Oh, I forgot about that. Sunny had acquired it to combine the enchantment with a dark wing and receive the ability to fly out of the sky below if needed, which did not mean that it had no other uses. Pierce was rising into the air, his feet already a full meter. Oh wait, no. We need this for when we fall down the abyss. We need to get this back. His initial confusion was gone, and he swiftly looked down at the tip of the needle buried in his flesh. The master's hand shot towards it, but the fingers of his armored gaunt were too thick and clumsy to dig the needle out of the first try. Sunny had no doubt that he would manage soon. He was also fairly certain that the Ascended Knight possessed at least one memory in his arsenal that would be able to help him either counteract or control the effect of the heavenly burden. However, both of these options were going to require some time, no matter how short. The time that Sunny wasn't going to give him. He thrust his hand forward, sending the moonlight shard flying towards Pierce's eye. Without anything to use as a purchase, the knight was deprived of the very foundation of combat ability. The warrior's connection to the ground, he couldn't move or dodge. He couldn't control the distribution of his weight, the mount and effect defense, and couldn't even use most of his strength. Hello, what's up, welcome. However, Pierce still managed to deflect the ghostly stiletto with his sword, which left him open and defenseless to Sunny's true attack. As soon as the moonlight shard left his right hand, Sunny brought his left hand up and behind him, used all of his strength, and the three shadows gifted him sent a flood of essence into his muscles and cast the cruel sight forward. His throw was performed by the perfect form, just like Effie had taught him. At the last moment, the three shadows flowed from his fingers and wrapped themselves around the somber spear's silver blade. Oh, so now the blade is augmented with all three shadows. Pierce's eyes widened. The crowsight shot through the air like a black comet and sunk into the fearsome knight's chest. The force of the throw was so great that it went right through his damaged armor, his tough skin and bones, and then he killed a fucking master? And then his heart. Still affected by the heavenly burden, the master's body was sent flying up with a terrifying speed and impaled on the stones, hanging lifelessly from the tall ceiling of the I'm sorry. 6-7 people. Hey, what's up? Sorry, that was cringe. Shit, I take that back. Hanging lifelessly from the tall ceiling of the devastated hall, a stream of blood fell down like crimson rain. Sunny staggered, then supported his weight with his hands, and then let out a shaky breath. Come on. A moment passed in silence. I see brackets. I think we killed him. A moment passed in silence, and then he finally heard the painfully familiar voice. This time, the spell's whisper sounded like beautiful music to his ears. No fucking way. That's insane. You have slain and ascended human pierced. Your shadow grows stronger. Gods, I actually did it. He actually fucking killed Pierce in the fight. Sunny smiled darkly, allowing himself a second of rest, and then rose to his feet, knowing that the battle was not over. Mordred and Wolf were still there, both as deadly as the damn bastard he had just killed. He dismissed the crow's side and immediately summoned it again, simultaneously checking on his reserve of shadow essence. Sunny had spent a lot of time, but not so much as to worry yet. The soul serpent appeared from the shadows and slithered onto his body, turning into an intricate tattoo. Alright, we gotta recoup. Still keeping his eyes closed, partly out of caution and partly because his eyes were burned and hurt like hell, Sunny extended his shadow sense forward and tried to understand what was happening to the other two participants of this hellish battle. Wealth was standing some distance away from him, swaying. Her hands were pressed against her face. Meanwhile, Mordred, Sunny froze. The female sentinel was dead. He got her. So he's currently possessing Wealth. That's kind of what it sounds like. And so I assume he went from the sentinel to Wealth's eye reflection. The female sentinel was dead. He had not noticed it before, but she was laying lifeless on the floor, her neck twisted at an unnatural level. How can this be? Something was not adding up. How could Mordred lose his only vessel so easily? He had only fought one of the masters. Surely he had the ability to defeat Wealth one-on-one. Otherwise, what would have been planning to do if Sunny allied with the Knights of Valor? How had he planned to resist both of them, let alone with a third enemy added into the mix? Well, it's because I'm sorry for yawning. Do not edit out 6-7, bro. We don't edit. We only edit when we do like anime Dunkler reacts. Webtoon, web novel reactions, we just pause and play. The Prince of Nothing could not have been that weak. Suddenly, a small detail attracted Sunny's attention. One of the sentinel's hands was clenched in a fist, something dangling from it. A piece of a torn chain. Didn't the chain feel awfully familiar? A cold, uneasy feeling appeared in Sunny's chest. He turned his head slightly and concentrated on the last survivor of the Valor's forces, searching for. Wealth suddenly laughed. Her voice sounded strange and different. And her amulet, the anvil's amulet, was gone. Fuck. The master lowered her hands and smiled. Ah, that is much, much better. 72 people. Holy shit. There's a lot of you guys turned up today. Where you guys been, man? You guys should be here every other day. What's going on? Chapter 588. So he captured her. Good evening to all our EU brethren, or on that side of the world. Chapter 588 is called Trust Issues. Mordred, he has taken Wealth. Sunny shifted, lowering the crow's side and sliding, turning its blade. His heart was full of, oh my god, I need coffee. Fuck, man, I'm so sorry for yawning. Sunny shifted, lowering the crow's side and slightly turned its blade. His heart was full of unease, his mind in the throes of a dark premonition. The banished prince had already been monstrously powerful. How much more deadly would he become in the body of a master? A few things were now clear, at least out of two ascended knights. Wolf had been more powerful. One of her aspect possessed abilities that could deliberate her enemies all while enhancing her own physique. That was why she had been the one to sap Mordred of a large portion of his strength and attack him, and yet it was strange to see the Prince of Nothing had struggled to defeat her so much, and for so long. If he couldn't win against one of the masters, how was he ever planning to face both? However, if he had decided to take Wolf's body and thus couldn't harm it too much, that would explain his tardiness. Fighting an ascended elite while not being allowed to wound her was a dreadfully harsh task. Had Mordred been aiming for Wolf's body from the start, or had he changed his plans to fly the opportunity when presented itself? Was his intention to take Sunny as the vessel just a ruse, a misdirection, or was Sunny still in danger? Oh, apologizing for being tired. Yeah, just a little bit. Music mirrors? Yeah, let's put mirrors. Let's put mirrors. Had Mordred been aiming for Wolf's body from the start, or had he changed his plans on the fly when the opportunity presented itself? Was the intention to take Sunny as his vessel just a ruse, a misdirection, or was Sunny still in danger? No way, he already had a body of a master. There's no reason to abandon it for the sake of mine, right? Ah, that is much, much better. Mordred straightened, then stretched, looking at his own arms with curiosity. Bumdret. He clenched Wolf's fist, then grimaced slightly and let his hands relax. Finally, the Prince of Nothing turned slightly and looked at Sunny with a smile. Wouldn't you say, Sunless? Sunny lingered for a moment, then nodded cautiously. I guess, how does this work exactly? Are you ascended now? Mordred's smile widened a little, so curious. Your inquisitive nature is truly worthy of an academy researcher. Dodging the questions like always, huh? Sunny sensed the slender saber laying by the former master's feet, then concentrated on the corpses of the female sentinel for a moment. So what now? How are we going to escape this place before the saint arrives? The Prince of Nothing bent down, picked up the saber and sighed. Oh, that don't worry. I do have a plan. It's just that I am not sure that you are going to like it very much. Sunless, Sunny felt cold shivers running down his spine. Mordred's tone was still friendly, but the implication behind his words did not promise anything good. It is going to be bad. I'm sensing some bad shit. Bastard. He's going to double-cross me, isn't he? Was not like Sunny had not been planning to do the same. He gritted his teeth, then said somberly, we don't have to do this, you know. It's just like you said, there's no quarrel between us. We can just go our separate ways, maybe even work together. For a bit, let's be friends. Mordred chuckled. Oh, I would like that very much. Why is Honkai Star Rail music playing? One sec, I forgot to loop it. Mordred chuckled. Oh, I would like that very much, but Sunless, if you really want to be my friend, why do you still have your eyes closed? He took a slightly awkward step forward, as if not yet entirely used to his new body. It's hard to trust someone who refuses to look you in the eyes, you know. Why don't you look at me, huh? Sunless. Sunny paled, then backed away a little. This motherfucker, dude. I freaking hate that game. I liked it when I played early. I really liked it. Sunny paled, then backed away a little. I'd rather not. My eyelids hurt. Mordred grinned. That is a pity, but oh well. To tell you the truth, we wouldn't have become real friends anyways. What's mean? Sunny took another step back, then asked tensely, oh yeah, why is that? The Prince of Nothing stopped smiling. When he spoke, Wolf's voice sounded cold and insidious, full of endless darkness. Do you take me for a fool? Do you really think that I would not smell the stench of the dreams? What the fuck? Do you really think that I would not smell the stench of the dream spawn on you, huh? You better tell me, Sunless, why did Asterion send you to chain the Isles? Why hunt down my beast? What is that abomination scheming now? Sunless growled, what? He was generally confused. If his eyes were enclosed, he would have been blinking in surprise right now. Did Mordred really lose his mind? Wait. Dream spawn Asterion was one of the 9. What the fuck is the dream spawn though? Lost every 50-50. Be like that. Asterion is the one with Nephis, right? Neph reminder, Asta, Song, and Veil. Asterion, yeah, Asterion is one of the 9 people you guys brought up. Like, never forget about them. Why did Asterion send you to the Chained Isles? Why hunt down my beast? What is that abomination scheming now? Sunny scrawled, what? He was generally confused. If his eyes were closed, he would be blinking in surprise right now. Did Mordred really lose his mind? I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. What stench? Why would I be sent by Asterion? I've never met anyone by that name, let alone knowing anything about their schemes. Are you hearing yourself, you lunatic? Wait a minute, the Prince of the Dream Spawn, could it be? The prince, the dream spawn, could it be? Mordred froze and tilted his head a little. Huh, how curious. You can't lie, so this must be... How the fuck does he know he can't lie? Huh, how curious. You can't lie, so this must be true. But if you've never met Asterion, why do you reek of dream spawn? Sunny grimaced, not wishing to answer. However, he had no choice. Surrendering to his flaw, he uttered through gritting teeth, I may have met another dream spawn. The Prince of Nothing raised his eyebrows, surprised. Really? Who? God damn it. Sunny clenched his fist, then said darkly, Nephis. I'm sorry. Help me out. What is a dream spawn again? Is a dream spawn a person that was born from a person that's lost, like, their soul? Because I know she was... Oh, my God. So, Nephis was born when her mother was lost, right? So, does that mean she's a dream spawn? Is that... I'm sorry. What is a dream... Oh, my God. I'm forgetting. Mordred frowned. Nephis of the Immortal Flame Clan. Wait, she is still alive. Sunny nodded and brandished Prince through his neck back, laughing. No, it's someone that is born in the dream realm. Born from two worlds. Thank you, thank you. Oh, like fucking Death Stranding. When you're Ka and you're... Yeah, okay. I do remember talking about that way back then when that was first brought up. Oh my. So there is another dream spawn walking the dream realm, and she is the daughter of the Smile of Heaven and Broken Sword. This must be fate. I wonder if that old bastard knows. Who is this old bastard he's talking about? While Mordred was laughing, Sunny was feeling cold all over, not because of the sudden outburst, but because of what Prince of Nothing had said right before. You can't lie, so this must be the truth. How does he know that I can't lie? Yeah, how the fuck does he know that? Since when had Mordred known about his flaw? He had simply figured it out after watching Sunny for a few months. No, that wasn't possible. Sunny had not spent that much time in the dream realm after escaping the sky below, and especially not communicating with a lot of people outside of selling them real-world items. He had not done anything comprising himself. What is going on? Oh, it's because he's already latched onto Sunny. This chapter is called Dark Mirror. So ever since he acquired that mirror, I feel like Mordred has already kind of had partial possession over him. And that's why he knows his flaw. That fucking has to be it. And by the way, the word Asterion, it's like, bro, have you guys not played Baldur's Gate 3? One of our favorite characters. So chapter 589 is called Dark Mirror. This is when we're going to find out. Got it. This is when we find out when he knew everything. Chapter 589 is called Dark Mirror. For a moment, Sunny's heart grew heavy, his mind consumed with murderous darkness. He thought that he had been betrayed again. Why can't I hear the music? Oh, it hasn't looped yet. It's looping. There were few people in the two worlds who knew the secret of his flaw. Nephis was one, but she was very far away. Kai and Nephi probably had their guesses. However, they chose to remain silent out of respect for his unwillingness to speak about the matter. That left only Cassie. Cassie was right here in the Night Temple and had already been turned on him once. But after thinking about it a little, Sunny realized that there had been another being who had possessed the knowledge of his aspect. The problem was that it had been dead for a long, long time, but that was enough. The Mirror Beast. So when the Mirror Beast... Oh my god, the Mirror Beast. The Ascended Reflection had mirrored his aspect, so it had to have glimpsed it somehow. And it was connected to Mordred far more thoroughly than Cassie ever could be. So that has to be it. The Prince of Nothing had not known everything about Shadow Slave aspect before. Sunny was sure of it back then, back in the abyss of the sky below. Mordred had expressed genuine curiosity and surprise about things that he would have already learned otherwise. Which meant that he had most likely only received that information after the Mirror Shard was brought into the Night Temple. It also meant that he was only informed about what the Mirror Beast had learned and what had been true then. If this guess was correct, maybe Sunny would be able to use the gap in Mordred's knowledge to his advantage. Or he was wrong and Cassie had really been betraying him again. A lot of things depended on whether or not he was ready to trust her again, his very life most likely. Sunny frowned, then said, his voice even, you seem to be having fun, so now that you know that I have nothing to do with Asterion, whoever that might be, are you going to rethink your previous plans and leave me be? Mordred chuckled, what do you think? Sunny sighed. Honestly, I don't know what to think anymore. Not when it comes to you, at least. You really are a devious bastard, you know that, right? Oh, don't take it as an insult. By the way, coming from me, it's actually a compliment. The Prince of Nothing shook his head and then took another step forward. Well, a mirror can only reflect what is in front of it, Sunless. It is my fault that things in front of me are cruel, vile, and deceptive. I think not. Then again, maybe it is. Either way, I don't really care. Blame your bad luck for being of use to me if you wish. Damn, that's fucking crazy, dude. Is the song in the playlist? Easy, try not to play. Rage bait me. Challenge impossible. Never. You can see me. Yeah, I can see you, Up Money. I see you guys. We are on live chat. Yeah, I see you guys. His eyes ignited with a hypnotic scarlet light, and although Sunny's own were closed, he suddenly felt slow and sluggish, strength draining from his muscles. He swayed and used the cruel sight to support himself. Ah, wait, before we start this, answer me one last question. Mordred smiled. Sure, why not? What do you want to know now? Sunny strained as if trying to speak, his mouth open, but instead of saying another thing, he simply attacked. The Prince of Nothing laughed, amused by the little deception. His saber... I'm sorry, where the fuck is Cassie in this whole situation? The Prince of Nothing laughed, amused by the little deception. His saber flashed forward and met by the blade of the cruel sight. A moment later, though, his laugh abruptly stopped. Sunny had no illusions about his chances and fight against Mordred, not when the bastard occupied the body of a powerful master, one whose aspect allowed him to weaken his enemies and strengthen himself no less. But then again, when had Sunny ever fought fairly? Emoji only? It's okay, I won't read chat, so be careful for spoilers, it's okay. I'll leave it up to the mods if you guys want to do that, but we could. If you guys want, we'll do it. But then again, when had Sunny ever fought fairly? From the start of it, he had been subtly manipulated by the Banishing Prince. Every step back then he had taken was meant to bring them into the right positions. The angle which he held the cruel side had been calculated so that the mirror blade only reflected what Sunny wanted Mordred to see. Or rather, so it didn't reflect what Mordred was not supposed to see. Sorry, mind games. At that moment of his attack, his efforts finally paid off. Because in the end, he had chosen to trust Cassie after all. He trusted her? Oh, here she is. The blind girl suddenly appeared at the entrance of the hall. Behind the banished prince, her eyes were hidden by the silver half mask, by the polished steel armor, and the midnight blue coat were gone. Instead, she was wearing the familiar light tunic and a cloak of the color of a sea waves. This was the memory gifted to her by Nephis, one of Changing Star had received after slaying an awakened terror in her first nightmare, the armor that possessed an enchantment which made enemies less likely to pay attention to its weaver. That's why we haven't been able to see her. Unnoticed, Cassie knelt and placed something on the floor in front of her. It was a large... Oh, the fucking box! So we did use him as bait. It was a large wooden box, its surface engraved with a complicated weave of a beautiful but disorientating pattern. The lid was slightly opened, rising above the lid by a few millimeters. Sunny suppressed a grin, good thinking. The box had not been part of the plan, but Cassie seemed to have made a correction with a beneficial opportunity presented itself. The moment the blade of the cruel sight met Welf's saber, the blind girl grabbed the lid, threw it open, and then poured her soul essence into the box. Inside, the mirror trap was lined with plates of polished silver, each reflecting the one opposite of it, thus creating an infinite labyrinth of reflections. The pattern of its surface shined with a pale glow. Mordred staggered, his laughter cutting short. He had seemed to be weakened. Sunny easily pushed the saber aside and thrust his spear forward, aiming to end the fight with one ruthless strike. However, the Prince of Nothing wasn't done yet. He recoiled narrowly, avoiding the killing blow, even though the tip of the cruel side pierced Welf's flesh. The wound wasn't fatal, and the next moment, Mordred disengaged, jumping back and staggering as he raised the saber into a defensive stance. His eyes darted towards... Oh, fuck, I skipped the chapter. One sec. Fuck, I lost my place. Found my place. His eyes darted towards the wooden box. That cursed thing. False alarm, we're good. Sorry, pure engagement bait. Blood was streaming down his side, but the banished prince didn't seem to care. Neither did Sunny. He dashed forward, feeding a downward slash, then turning it into a swift thrust. Who knew how long Mordred would be slowed down by the mirror trap? It hadn't helped the forces of valor. He had to finish this fast. Mordred barely deflected the attack, moving with visible strain. His mouth twitched. Hey, Sunless, why don't you go and destroy that box? Sunny pushed forward, closing the distance between them and simultaneously turning the cruel side into a sword. It flashed through the air, but was deflected once again. Even with his powers reduced so directly, the prince was still a formidable fighter. Mordred bared his teeth. No, but I must insist. Why don't you just go and kill that little oracle of yours? His eyes gleamed with vicious amusement. Lost from light. That is your true name, is it not? Do it! Wait. But it's not gonna work, right? Sunny froze, his sword trembled. Then as his face became pale as a ghost and his pupils widened in horror, he slowly turned facing Cassie. Wait, no. A strange sound escaped from his lips. Mordred smiled, slightly relaxing his guard. He has to be playing along. It was at that moment that the cruel sight shot towards his body, easily sliding past the slender saber. Sunny scoffed, why don't you go to hell? I already have a master. Good fucking shit, dude. Next chapter, the host. Chapter 590, my brothers and sisters. Indeed, it was as Sunny had thought. Mordred had learned his secrets from the mirror shard left behind by the beast. He didn't really know of its aspect, he only knew of its reflection. And that reflection was incomplete. That was why the cunning prince had assumed that he would be able to enslave Sunny by using his true name. Of course, Mordred would have been careful taking the possibility that Lost from Light already had a master into account, but Sunny was half a step ahead. He had doused the caution by being ready to pretend to be enslaved and then attack. The cruel sight shot forward, narrowly avoiding the mirror's fiend saber and sinking deep into the flesh. It cut through the enchantment black tunic, pierced Welf's body, and emerged from her back. Damn, direct attack. Mordred's face contorted, his eyes full of shock and pain. Sunny, of course, couldn't see it since he was still relying on shadow sense to navigate the world. All he felt was a tremble that went through his enemy's body. A moment later, the Prince of Nothing groaned. A stream of blood escaped from his mouth. Then he lashed out with the saber, forcing Sunny to stagger back. The cruel sight slid on the terrible wound, wreaking more damage on his way back. Sunny was slightly disappointed that he had not been able to end the fight right then and there, but it hardly mattered. The wound he had delivered was not immediately fatal, but deadly nevertheless. Now all he had to do was wait for the enemy to bleed out. Even a master's body was not resilient enough, because he doesn't have Weaver's blood. Even a master's body was not resilient enough to... Wait, I'm sorry, it's not called Weaver's blood. Even a master's body was not resilient enough to stem the flood of blood he had caused. Mordred, it seemed, realized the same and dashed forward in a desperate attempt to kill Sunny before the blood loss made him too weak. Or so Sunny thought. Fuck, so that's not what's gonna happen? Instead of attacking with the saber, the Prince of Nothing used it to push the cruel sight aside and continued to move forward, eventually colliding with Sunny and grabbing him by the throat. Is he crazy? At such a close distance, Sunny had all the advantages. Mordred couldn't slash with a saber, but he could easily bring his short sword back for a killing thrust, long before anyone would have been able to strangle him. This attack made no sense. However, the next moment he felt something was wrong, and then his chest was pierced by a blinding explosion of pain. It's not good. Sunny screamed and staggered back, falling to the floor. Somehow, against all logic, the Prince of Nothing seemed unscathed again. The blood gash on his torso gone. How the fuck does that make sense? Instead, it was as though Sunny had run himself through with a sword. He could feel a deep wound in his chest, even though the surface of the undying chain remained unbroken. Curses. Fighting through the pain, he rolled away, dodging the descending saber. Luckily for him, Mordred did not pursue, instead chose to dash towards Cassie in the mirror trap. Damned Welf. Although Sunny was not entirely clear of what had happened, and now he had ended up with a hole in his chest, he had an inkling. Welf's aspect seemed to be all about devoiding the enemy of their powers while enhancing their own, almost as if transferring it. A master had 3 aspect abilities. Was her third ability capable of transferring wounds from her body to the others? Ah, that would make sense. If so, was he going to die by his own sword? No. Oh, he has Blood Weave. Blood Weave would help him. No, he wouldn't. Unlike Mordred, Sunny was not going to bleed to death. In fact, he was already bleeding. He was barely bleeding at all. His body was pierced and heavily damaged. But fortunately, blood loss was one of the 2 causes of death he was practically immune to. The other being broken bones. The evolved weaves of his body would not allow such a simple thing to happen. Growling from pain, Sunny stood up and swayed slightly. He didn't feel too well. In fact, he felt pretty terrible. Every breath was torture, and his heartbeat was strange and irregular. Every contradiction sent a pulse of suffering rolling through his body. It's alright. I've been through worse, I think. Sunny willed the midnight shard to manifest itself into existence and tried to assess what was happening around him. Mordred was already upon Cassie, his saber flashing towards her neck. The blind girl met his attack with a skillful block. The quad dancer ringed around clearly as if deflecting the enemy's blade. The blind girl survived. However, she was pushed back away from the mirror trap as soon... Oh my god, my butt is numb from sitting. However, she was pushed back away from the mirror trap as soon as he had left the surface of the wooden box. And the flow of the soul essence was interrupted. The glow of the engraved pattern shimmered, dimmed, and was then extinguished. Mordred sighed, not bad, truly a valiant effort. He glanced at the mirror trap and then brought the saber down on it, turning the box into a pile of splinters and mangled silver plates. I'm sorry, he destroyed it. Sunny shuddered. Crap. Released from the burden of and back to the full might of his stolen body, the Prince of Nothing inhaled deeply, an expression of delight on his face. That fell a little bit too hard. Let me read from here. Sorry. Every contradiction sent pulse of suffering rolling through his body. Oh, wait. I found my place. However, she was pushed back away from the mirror trap. As soon as her hand left the surface of the wooden box and the flow of the soul essence was interrupted, the glow of the engraved pattern shimmered, dimming, and was then extinguished. Mordred sighed, not bad, guys, truly a valiant effort. He glanced at the mirror trap and then brought the saber down on it, turning the box into a pile of splinters and mangled silver plates. Sunny shuddered. Crap. Released from the burden and back to the full might of his stolen body, the Prince of Nothing inhaled deeply, an expression of delight on his face. Then he turned to Sunny and smiled amicably. Now, who should I deal with first? At that moment, the austere Tachi finished manifesting itself into existence. The unbroken enchantment activated, filling him with newfound power. Its effect was as incredible as when he had been a mere sleeper, but still quite profound. Holding the midnight shard in one hand, the cruel sight in the other. Fucking dual wielding, bro. Sunny willed the mirror blade to ignite with the incandescent light of the divine flame and grimaced. Come here, your royal highness. I can promise to kill you quickly. With Sunny in front of him and Cassie behind, Mordred laughed. So fun. Ah, what a pity. I am really going to miss you, Sunless. Fuck, dude. This is a good chapter. With that, he blurred and was suddenly just a step away, the slender saber falling down with terrifying speed. The two of them clashed, with one attacking and the other desperately trying to defend. The ringing of the steel merged with one deafening sound, and Sunny cursed. Although it seemed like an eternity, in fact, just a second had passed. The quad dancer had not had time to reach for them from the other end of the hall to help. And he already really needed help. Perhaps if he had not been wounded and under the deliberating effects of Wolf's aspect, Sunny would have been able to hold his ground against the deadly prince. With three shadows wrapped around his body and the gift of the unbroken, his powers would not have been much less than that of a master. But as things stood currently, fighting against Mordred was like trying to fend off a tornado. He barely managed to deflect the killing blow, but he couldn't do anything against the rest of the rain ruthlessness strikes. The Prince of Nothing fought with terrifying skill and purpose, not leaving Sunny any chance to retaliate. Well, what else did he expect from their heir of the war god? The bastard truly lived up to his lineage. The undying chain held for now, but Sunny knew that it wouldn't be able to protect him for much longer. Even the quiet dancer joined the fray. Things didn't change. Sunny thought feverishly, trying to come up with some trick, some way for him to survive and prevail, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't think of anything he could do to win the fight. It all seemed hopeless. Slowly, a creeping fear settled in his heart. Ignoring the terrible pain nesting in his chest, Sunny gritted his teeth and continued to resist with all his might, all his cunning, all his will, and it was then that Cassie's voice suddenly reached his ears. Open your eyes. What the fuck? Why? He shivered, suddenly experiencing a feeling of terrifying deja vu. What? Has she lost her mind? Open your eyes. Open them, Sunny. Was Cassie hysterical or planning to kill them? Why else would she give him such stupid advice? Sunny couldn't come up with one logical reason to listen to her. Bro, trust her. In the end, it all came down to a question of blind trust. He sighed and then strained his singed eyelids and slowly opened his eyes. Mordred's figure came into focus, a surprising, joyful expression on his stolen face. Sunny saw his reflection in Wolf's eyes, clad in a bleak still of the undying chain. No, it wasn't him. There was another reflection hiding even deeper and almost lost in the darkness. And then it was gone. Something cold and alien entered him through the... Oh, fuck. Something cold and alien entered him through the reflection, sinking deep into the dark depths of his soul. I'm sorry, this chapter was called Host, right? A moment later, the world disappeared. Did Sunny become a host? Sea of Soul. Are they gonna talk in his fucking soul sea? Well, this is a good point to go turn on the kettle, huh? One sec. Here we go. Alright, here we go. We'll have coffee next chapter. Chapter 591, my brothers and sisters. It's called Sea of Soul. Sunny found himself in the tranquil darkness of his soul sea. Ah, it's fucking GG. It really is game over, huh? Let me lower the volume down a bit more. He found himself in the tranquil darkness of his soul sea. It seemed as empty and silent as usual. The three black suns burned with dark flames above him, arranged in a perfect triangle, small spheres of light. His memories floated between them like dying stars. The silent waters were vast and motionless. And somehow distance away, just beyond the periphery of his vision, the rows of lifeless shadows stood unmoving. However, this time something was different. Sunny did not remember entering the soul sea or even wishing to do so. More than that, he couldn't perceive the real world at all. Usually visiting this place resulted in a strange split of his consciousness, with only part of it exploring the depths of his soul, while the others remained aware of his actual surroundings. It was akin to the image of a landscape. Doing so did not turn you blind and deaf. But now he was here and only here, and nothing existed outside of his dark and silent sea. Come to think of it, it was a lonely and frightening place, untethered from the real world and surrounded by nothing except for the deathly silence. Sunny did not feel as calm and comfortable as he usually did, and he wasn't really alone in the darkness. What a strange soul you have. Hearing those words, Sunny flinched and turned around. The voice that had spoken them did not belong to Wealth. It was familiar and pleasant, just like it had been in the lightless abyss of the sky below. Mordred was speaking with his real voice once again. I'm sorry, does that mean he's dead? But now he can speak in the soul sea? What? The Prince of Nothing stood some distance away, looking up with a curious smile on his face. Now, for the first time, Sunny saw how he must have looked before his true body was destroyed. Mordred was tall and slender, with pale skin and raven black hair. He seemed to be in his 20s, older than Kai and Effie by a couple of years. His face was sharp and thin, not exactly handsome, but at the same time charming and strangely beautiful. Just like me. It's like he's describing me. Strangely beautiful. His most striking feature, though, were his eyes, which didn't seem to possess color of their own, and instead reflected the world back on itself like two pools of liquid silver. Currently, they were as dark and lightless as the endless abyss of the void. Mordred was dressed in a simple tunic, its fabric long devoid of any color. He wore no armor and didn't seem to bear any weapons. However, Sunny could feel immense pressure radiating from his slender figure, and knew that he was in mortal danger. What surprised him, however, was that Mordred's face seemed familiar. In fact, he looked exactly like a slightly older male version of Morgan of Valor. Ah, relatives. The resemblance was too striking to be a coincidence. It could only be shared by siblings. And there was another thing that Sunny saw which made him tense and apprehensive. All around the Prince of Nothing, he could see a pale golden glow. We've been using a pale golden glow on their thumbnail for him. Was that a fated coincidence that I used gold as his aura? The same kind of beautiful radiance that hid in his own blood and surrounded Nephis, the light of divinity. I'm late. You're okay, Amma. You turned in just in time to catch up. Don't worry. Hey, I'm gonna stall right now and she'll catch up. It's okay. It's okay. Someone let her know. We'll stall enough for her to catch up. Mordred studied the three cores of Sunny's soul curiosity, then looked at him with a friendly smile. I have never seen anything like it. How kind it was of you to invite me inside. Sunless, I really do wonder what your little friend was thinking, though. Does she perhaps think that you will be able to resist me? Fuck yes. Sunny stared at the invader somberly, then shrugged. How would I know what she is thinking? Trying to understand an oracle is a fool's errand, you know. Mordred chuckled. Ah, wiser words have never been said. Well, I guess we will find out soon. Sunny shifted slightly, then asked, his voice gloomy, why would you even want to possess my body anyways? Didn't you get wealth already? What's so great about it if you would rather have me than a master? The prince of nothing smiled. Who says I can't have you both? That seemed like an answer, but actually wasn't. Sunny had already experienced Mordred's habits of dodging questions to be misled this way. He frowned and glared at the mirror fiend, unamused. The invader left. So serious, don't sell yourself short, Sunless. You might just be an awakened, but then who else should I make a vessel if I wish to ascend myself? Plus, your body suits my current needs perfectly. You have an aspect that gives you both stealth and teleportation abilities, a perfect combination of someone who wishes to escape. A saint, don't you think? He took another step forward and continued. I also have never met or heard of anyone else who possesses a divine aspect. Imagine my surprise when I found out that you were just like me, and that thing you have. I am very curious to find out what it is that allowed you to make me blind back in the Ebony Tower. Such a powerful anti-divination artifact will make my life much, much easier. So you see, although I am not too happy about it, taking you as a vessel is a regretful but inevitable choice I had to make. Sunny narrowed his eyes, trying to understand what Mordred was talking about, making him blind back in the Ebony Tower. Sunny had worn Weaver's mask to read the herring runes of the 5th level of the stronghold of the ruler of the underworld. Was that what the mirror fiend meant? So the mask had been able to hide Sunny from his spying as well, and more than that, the mirror beast had not managed to glimpse its secrets. So Mordred did not know what it was, just that there was something in Sunny's possession that could prevent him from being tracked and seen by otherworldly means. When he narrowed his eyes, though, something else happened. What the fuck is going to happen? Sunny didn't expect it, so he almost lost his composure. He had not known that he possessed such an ability, but it seemed that the evolution of the blood weave had enhanced his eyes as well. To what? Suddenly, he was able to peer beneath the surface of Mordred's soul, just like he was able to peer beneath the surface of the memories and echoes studying their weaves. Don't forget, after this chapter, I'm going to just go get my coffee, and then I'm going to run back. I already set it up, so I just pour the hot water, and we come back. And what he saw there made him tremble. Crap. As a living soul, the Prince of Nothing did not possess a spell weave, of course. However, what he did possess were soul cores. 6 of them! Mordred was a terror. And that terror was greater, closer, and closer to Sunny. To tell you the truth, Sunless, your body fits me so perfectly that I even thought for a second that the old man had sent you to me as a gift. Who is this fucking old man? That old man has sent you to me as a gift. Gods know. He's not referencing Asterion. Asterion and the old man are two different beings, right? Or are they the same individual? Wait, if that's a spoiler, don't answer. Hold up. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. Gods know he was a lot to apologize for. To think he had nothing to do with it, and all of this was just a coincidence. The funny attribute of yours is really something, isn't it? Oh, he even knows about that attribute. Sunny gritted his teeth and then said in a grim tone, "That is really wonderful. I am very glad for you, pal. However, what exactly happens now? You don't really expect me to just surrender my body to you, right?" Here in the Soul Sea, Sunny wasn't bound by his flaws, since his words were nothing more than his thoughts. It was actually a bit of a relief. Mordred stopped now, just a few steps away from him, and smiled. Now, why? What else? Now am I going to destroy your soul? Of course. Soul Slayer. I'm sorry, are we reading Demon Slayer? Now we're doing soul slaying? What's going on here? Oh! Do we damage his soul? Is that what's gonna happen? And we can like wound him and kill him that way? 82 fucking people? Holy shit, a lot of you guys are here today, and Stream is Healthy. Welcome. Come on. Man, where were you guys all these other days? Man, everybody showed up today, huh? Chapter 592, my brothers and sisters. Soul Slayer. Facts, Noctis. Sunny looked down on himself, evaluating his own state. The wound in his chest was gone, however, it wasn't as though he was unscathed. Scathed? His body, or at least the manifestation of it, seemed battered and beaten. However, it was full of ferocious strength and vigor, as well as feeling light as if a tremendous weight had been lifted on his shoulders just a few moments ago. He didn't know how exactly this Battle of the Souls was supposed to work, but suspected that his current form was a representation of his spirit. He had endured a lot in these recent weeks, enough suffering and fear to crush someone with a lesser will. Sunny, however, had survived far worse. So his strength was not diminished by much. He was still clad in the bleak steel of the Undying Chain, holding his weapons. There you go. We have new members. We have 5 new members. Uff Money got one. That's to celebrate a lot of us here. Now we can spam Ellie emotes. 3 shadows lay at his feet, and he could feel the presence of a soul serpent nearby. His enemy, meanwhile, was alone and unarmed. This was Sunny's soul after all. Here, he was bound to have the ultimate advantage. Let's see who would destroy whom, you bastard. With a smile, Sunny commanded the shadows to rise and wrap themselves around his body. Instantly, his strength, speed, and resilience were enhanced manifold. At the next moment, however, his expression froze. Mordred looked at him, dismayed as he did. 6 shadows descended upon him like a dark mantle, making the pressure of the Prince of Nothing exerted feeling almost suffocating. You didn't think that it would be that easy, did you? A split second later, he was beside Sunny, his first crashing into the breastplate of the Undying Chain. As pain exploded through his body, Sunny flew back and fell onto the still water, sliding across it into the darkness. What? Before he could even rise, Mordred was already upon him, his foot slamming into Sunny's ribs. Sunny yelped as he was thrown into the air and then felt another blowing landing on his chest, pushing all the air out of the lungs and sending him plummeting back down. Look at all those beautiful Ellie emotes. Knowing that he had now escaped somehow, Sunny dove into the shadows, emerged from the darkness behind the Prince of Nothing, the blade of the cruel side shooting forward. However, it pierced nothing but air. Mordred had turned into a shadow himself and disappeared without a trace, his laughter echoing across the surface of the silent sea, weak to weak. Something struck Sunny in the back, sending another explosion of pain rolling through the very core of his being. He groaned and tried to slash with the Midnight Shard, but the enemy was already gone. Dude, this is such a fucking cool-ass, like, battle stage, dude. Like, you're fighting in your fucking soul sea. A moment later, he was kicked in the abdomen, then ruthlessly slammed across the face. Mordred first felt like a sledgehammer, no, like a mountain descending, half blinding and disorientating. Sunny fell to his knees, spitting blood. What the hell? This was not how he had managed things going. The damn mirror fiend clearly had to weaken his prey before attacking, so his victory was not set in stone. There was a way to defeat him somehow, and Sunny's spirit had not been broken. He had expected to be able to prevail. However, the bastard was just too powerful. He was supposed to be resisting such terrifying force. Worse than that, Mordred seemed to be able to mirror all of his powers. Bastard lost from light. Stop. Oh, I thought he was using that on him. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. The Prince of Nothing laughed again, then struck Sunny in the side of his head, almost blinding him. Sorry to say this, but that trick is not going to work. This is an entirely different situation, you know. Hurting and hoping to escape the next blow, Sunny turned into a shadow again. This time, however, he was in a hurry to attack and remained incorporeal, thinking. Before he could form a single thought, however, another shadow lunged at him from the darkness, and suddenly he was in the throes of the indescribable agony, his very soul damaged and cracked. With a stiff shriek, why would Cassie do this? I wonder what she sees, dude. Sunny escaped. It's like, bro, it's like there's no fucking reasoning with Cassie. Like, what the hell does she know? Sunny escaped the shadows and assumed his human form again, only to be ruthlessly struck down. Hey, yo, what's up, bro? Hey, I see you, man. What's up, dude? Only to be ruthlessly struck down a moment later. He fell on his back and desperately gulped the air, but his lungs seemed to be paralyzed. All he could do was try to block the next blow, only for it to feel another wave of pain spread through his body. God damn it. Sunny used his shadow step to disengage, but his enemy simply followed. He deflected one strike, almost managing to cut Mordred's form open, but the Mirror Fiend was just too fast, strong, and skilled. No matter how hard Sunny fought, it was all useless. No matter what strategy he tried to implement, Mordred was right through it. Fighting against the Prince of Nothing was like fighting against the death itself. He was terrifying, inevitable, and final. There was no escape. But Sunny was not going to give up. At this point, he wasn't even sure that he knew how. He gritted his teeth, endured the pain, and fought. After what seemed like an eternity, beaten and bloodied, Sunny was thrown down again. The helmet of the Undying Chain was bent and deformed, pressing it into the temple and obscured his vision. He dismissed it and raised a hand to defend himself, but it was easily wrestled down. Mordred had a few bruises of his own, but looked infinitely better than Sunny. Grabbing him by the throat, he banished the prince, inhaled deeply, and then asked in a somber tone, "Haven't you had enough? Why don't you just surrender? I am not enjoying this one bit, you know." That's true. Sunny looked at him through the red haze and grinned, his teeth painted by red blood. Really? Too bad, because I'm actually having the time of my life. With that, what a fucking cool-ass fight, dude. You have to go to your live control room, and then there's a live chat panel. With that, he lowered his head and tried to sink his teeth into Mordred's hand. The Prince of Nothing sighed and then hit Sunny in the face, sending him rolling away. Crap, that one really, really hurt. Sunny slid a few meters away and came to rest just beyond the rows of the silent shadows. He tried to stand up, but the world silently spun around him, making him fall back down. A quiet groan escaped from his lips. Mordred shook his head dejectedly and then walked over to the crow's side, which lay on the surface of the tranquil waters where Sunny had dropped it. He bent down and picked it up. Oh, I'm sorry, Mordred picked up crow's side. But the somber spear simply turned the tenebrous mist, dismissed by its master. The mirror fiend remained unperturbed. He lowered his fingers into the water and caught the reflection of the fearsome memory before it fully dissipated, then brought it up, ending up with the exact same spear in his hand. To think that the spell would make it anew and return it to me, it's fitting, I guess. He studied the cruel sight for a moment. Fuck, so now he has it. He studied the cruel sight for a moment, then turned to Sunny, a dark look in his eyes. Let's end this now. No matter what you may think, I don't enjoy torturing people. Unless they deserve to be tortured, of course. What the fuck does Sunny do to you, bro? What are we talking about? Sunny finally managed to rise to his knees and glance at the approaching prince with a grim expression. One of his hands reached towards the hilt of the Midnight Shard, which lay some distance away, while the other was pinned awkwardly behind him. In it, a ghostly stiletto silently appeared in a transparent blade hiding from sight by Sunny's body. Whatever you say, Mordred willed the crew's side to extend to its full length, then lunged forward, thrusting it towards Sunny's heart. Sunny tensed, preparing to dodge. But before I scroll down too much, he had a chance to. He was suddenly covered by a massive shadow, and a long, multi-jointed arm appeared from somewhere above, blocking the blade. I'm sorry, what is this? Blocking the blade of spear with its terrifying bone claws. Sunny blinked, Mordred froze too, and then slowly looked up. As he did, Sunny mirrored the movement. Towering above him, the shadow of the Mountain King stood silently. What? One of its four arms extended forward for a moment. Nothing happened. What the fuck? Yo! And then another shadow moved slightly, clicking its chitinous claws. One of the carapace scavengers took a small step forward. Like a chain of reaction. Are they fucking fighting? Like a chain of reaction, a wave of movement spread through the ranks of the silent shadows, bringing them to life. All of them shifted their gazes, focusing on Mordred, members of the Carapace Legion, dwellers of the Crimson Labyrinth, horrors of the Dark City, inhabitants of the Chained Isles. There were monsters of all shapes and sizes, each more terrifying than the other. A horde of creatures that Sunny had slain. There was an abominable spire messenger, a nest of slithering vines, a tall knight. This is so fucking rad, dude. A tall knight in a heavy suit of intricate armor, a strange creature with a chest in place of its head, and many, many more. For the first time, confidence drained from Mordred's face, and he paled, taking an involuntarily step back. Oh my god. The Prince of Nothing hesitated, then said evenly, Sunless, my dear friend, tell me, why is there an army of dead nightmare creatures hidden in your soul? Suddenly, finally managed to grab the Midnight Shard and slowly rose to his feet, using the Tachi as support. His teeth flashed in a dark smile. Oh my god. Oh, I have a human soul here too, so don't worry, Mordred. When I kill you, fuck, that is so hard. You'll have good company at least? So fucking badass, dude. You'll have good company at least. The mirror fiend chuckled nervously, slowly brandishing the reflection of the cruel sight. And the next moment, the horde of shadows surged forward, descending upon him like an avalanche of darkness. And Mordred suddenly vanished without a trace, as if he had never existed. Did we kill him? What the fuck? What the fuck, man? What's going on? One step forward. Why the fuck are they fighting? That's never happened. They're always very, like, passive. Oh, they're probably attacking him like fucking white blood cells. It's like fucking Mordred is a virus and his soul C, it's reacting like white blood cells, and you gotta prune the virus, right? Next fucking chapter, man. Chapter 593, my brothers and sisters. It's called One Step Forward. Hey, I thought I was reading Solo Leveling for a second. I thought he was about to say like a rise or some shit. Like, am I reading the right web series? Chapter 593 is called One Step Forward. Sunny opened his eyes. Wait, I need to take a sip of coffee. I'm getting lightheaded. Still too hot. One more chapter and I can drink it. Sunny opened his eyes, disoriented, the orange glow of the fire and the dancing shadows on the shattered walls. The smell of blood, the tearing of pain in his chest. He had escaped the Soul Sea and returned to the scorched heat of the Night Temple. He had refilled, but what was going on? It felt as if he was falling. Why was he falling? Sunny crashed onto the cracked stone plates on the floor and heard Wolf's body falling somewhere nearby. A tortured groan escaped from his lips, and then a stiffened curse. What the hell? Although his battle with Mordred had lasted for a while, it seemed that just a single moment passed into the real world. That time had not even been enough for Sunny to properly fall down. The Quiet Dancer was still in the same position and Cassie was still rushing over, daggers in hand. I survived. However, why didn't it feel like he was forgetting something? Sunny strained his wounded body, trying to sit up. He felt exhausted and weak, both from his physical injuries and the damage his soul had sustained in a harrowing battle against the Prince of Nothing. What was it? Cassie was already by his side, reaching out to help him sit, her rapier hovering in the air, and then turned to the tip of its blade, aiming at Wolf's unmoving form. All right, where did Mordred disappear to? Suddenly, his eyes widened. Sunny raised his head, pointing at Wolf. Kill her. The Quiet Dancer was already flashing through the air, reacting faster than the Smasher. Cassie frowned. What? Isn't he... But it was too late. Wolf suddenly moved, her hand shooting forward to catch the flying rapier by the blade. The sharp point stopped just a few centimeters away from her throat. Oh, is she back? No, Mordred wasn't dead. He had simply run away, retreating from the fight that he knew he wouldn't be able to win. Back to his previous vessel. Oh, okay. So he's back to the other chick. Cassie stared at the Prince of Nothing in shock, then shrieked with her cracks appearing on the blade and the graceful rapier. She hurriedly dismissed the echo, saving it from the crushing grip, and pulled Sunny to his feet. What do we do now? Sunny saw the body of the ascended knight stirring, as if slowly coming back to life, her hollow eyes suddenly glistening, becoming full of dark will and lethal intelligence once again. His heart skipped a beat. Now that Mordred had failed to both enslave and possess Sunny, there was only one use for him left. Torture Weaver's mask out of him, and then dispose of what was left. With that fiend wearing a master's body, what were they supposed to do indeed? Actually, Sunny had a perfect answer. He glanced at Cassie. How do we fight? Run. I can read run. He glanced at Cassie with a determined expression, then screamed, what else? Run. Mordred wasn't the only one who knew when to remove himself from a hopeless situation. Pushing the blind girl towards a large hole in the wall of the former stronghold of Valor forces, Sunny turned his back on Wolf, who was slowly rising to her feet, and sprinted away as fast as he could. His eyes were tightly shut, so that bastard couldn't spy on them through the reflections. The Night Temple was a large place. With some luck, they would be able to play cat and mouse, or rather mice and tiger, with the damn prince for a few days. Hopefully, Saint Cormac would arrive soon, and he was driving through the breach in the wall. A mocking voice assaulted him from behind. What? Leaving so soon? This is so fucking scary, dude. Sorry, I burped. Feeling Mordred taking a step forward, Sunny dismissed the heavenly burden. Pierce's corpse, which were still pressed against the ceiling, suddenly plunged down and crashed right in front of the mirror, fiends of forcing him to jump back and slow down a little. Without turning his head, Sunny threw the broken oath behind him. That sent the ordinary rock flying into the depths of a random corridor, and ran into the opposite direction with Cassie. As he rushed away, the rock ricocheted off the walls and screamed loudly in Sunny's voice, run, run, run. The fucking rock ricocheted. Sunny didn't expect his tricks to slow down Mordred for long, but with enough head start, they were bound to be able to disappear into the fusing labyrinth of a great cathedral. Best rock ever, right? Best girl? Best girl or best boy? They had just had to get out of the inner sanctum in time. Once outside, catching them would be much harder. He might have not been a match for the Prince of Nothing in direct combat for now. But when it came to stealth and traversal, Sunny had a decisive advantage. Not only could he use Shadow Step to jump across large distances, but he could also use his shadows and senses of scout, spy on enemies, and navigate in the darkness. Mordred, meanwhile, was only able to see through the reflections, which were few and far between the Night Temple. Hiding from him was not an impossible task, especially with the help of Cassie and her uncanny intuition. The blind girl was going to slow down somehow, but at the same time, having her with him was a boon. Just as he thought that, Cassie suddenly pulled him into the barely visible mouth of a narrow corridor, which then led him to the small staircase. They ascended it and ran through the circular hall, sliding down the doomed floor, and then climbed back up. As they did, an echo of a deafening crash reached their ears, announcing that the Prince of Nothing was not too far behind. What was that bastard doing, breaking through the stone walls instead of searching for a path? The interior of the citadel was bizarre and confusing, so Sunny quickly lost his sense of direction. All he knew was that they weren't moving towards the familiar exit out of the inner sanctum, nor were they approaching the central bell tower. His doubts were dispelled, however, when Cassie opened the narrow wooden door and the cold wind hit him. I'm sorry. Is he here? Fuck, I lost my place. Nor were they approaching. Wait, fuck, I lost my place. Shit. Bad tunnel vision. What was that bastard doing, breaking through the stone walls instead of searching for a path? The interior of the citadel was bizarre and confusing, so Sunny quickly lost his sense of direction, just like I lost my sense of place. Very, very funny. All he knew was that they weren't moving towards a familiar exit out of the inner sanctum, nor were they approaching the central bell tower. His doubts were dispelled, and however, when Cassie opened the wooden door and the cold wind hit him in the face. Somehow they had reached the grand hall of the cathedral, where the broken gateway stood in the center of the vast basin of the creature's dome. Instead of entering it through the tall gates of the inner sanctum, Sunny and Cassie appeared on the hidden gallery, circling the hall perimeter high above. Almost at the same time, a familiar figure emerged from the gates far below. 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Who is it? Who's the familiar face? Chapter 594 is called 2 Steps Back. Mordred was right below them, walking out into the great hall of the somber cathedral and at relaxed pace. Above his shoulders, a dozen blinding orbs of light hovering in the air, throwing white reflections of the dark stones. Sunny suddenly stepped back, pulling Cassie with him, pressed against the back wall of the gallery, and safely hidden in the deep shallows, they slowly moved away. Below, the spheres of light suddenly shot into different directions, illuminating a large portion of dark nave. Luckily, their radiance did not reach the hidden gallery, be it just barely. What it did reach, though, were the hundreds of mirror shards scattering around the vast expanse of the inverse hall, each of them shone, reflecting the white light. It was as though countless stars suddenly ignited into the darkness. Sunny suddenly cursed, knowing that those shards served Mordred as eyes. Who knew how many more were hidden throughout the cathedral? I assumed they're fucking everywhere. Without slowing down, he dismissed the memories he had left behind and continued moving towards the distant end of the vast circular chamber. The Prince of Nothing, meanwhile, tilted his head a little. Where are they hiding, I wonder? Suddenly, he was surrounded by a whirlwind of white sparks. Sunny did not linger to see where the memories Mordred was summoned, and instead concentrated on reaching another door. Before the sparks of light coalesced into a tangible shapes, Cassie and he had already left the gallery, finding themselves in another corridor. They had successfully left the sanctum behind and were now in the main structure of the citadel. It was a large and convoluted space, so finding them here was not going to be easy. From where they stood, it was not going to be easy. Like, comment, subscribe. From where they stood just outside of the nave, they could go anywhere in the temple proper, exit into the outward ring, or descend into any of the 6 belfries. They could even circle back and try to hide on the 7th, the main bell tower, hoping that the Mirror Fiend would not expect them to return. However, somehow, Sunny doubted that escaping Mordred would be that easy. The morbid remains of his butchered victims were all around them. After all, none of these people had escaped. He hesitated for a moment, then pulled Cassie in the direction of the outward ring. There was a part of the citadel they both knew the best, which was an important advantage. Of course, the banished prince understood that too, which meant that he would most likely be moving there too. What is a place that he would least likely think them to be? Like, comment, subscribe. There you go. Funny. That was a risk Sunny had to take. At the very end of the day, their goal was to escape, and they could only do that by reaching the sealed gates of the Night Temple. A few hours passed, suffused with fear and tension. Sunny and Cassie had to move through the main structure of the cathedral, getting closer and closer to the outward ring. On the way, they took a short break, partly to eat and replenish their strength. but mostly because he simply couldn't walk anymore. The exhaustion and pain were taking their toll on Sunny. Finding a safe spot, he fell to the floor and remained motionless for a while, breathing hoarsely. Then he dismissed the breastplate of the undying chain and pulled the shirt hiding beneath up and tentatively explored the dire wound dealt to him by Mordred. The result was not too good. Sunny wasn't going to die anytime soon, but neither was he going to heal quickly. For the time being, he was as good as crippled. Bro, I'm so intense and into this shit, my hands are fucking sweating. Damn, and I have the fan on. Curses. At least he had not bled to death. That was something at least. He summoned the breastplate back, then opened the Covette's coffers and took out a couple of tubes of synth paste. The two of them hurriedly consumed the nutritious sludge, and then it was time to get back up again. Before that, however, Cassie handed him something. Here, you hold on to this. Sonny took the item and raised his eyebrows, recognizing the shape. It was a small piece of cold steel. Cold steel? That was a chapter earlier, right? Cold steel at the beginning? It was a small piece of cold steel shaped into a semblance of an anvil. Oh, is that the memory? That's the memory from, yeah, the Nephis gave her. His fingers, though, could feel the thing was not at all simple. In fact, it seemed like one of the most potent artifacts he had ever held. Welf's amulet. When did you grab it? The blind girl sighed. Oh, never mind. After you open your eyes, I should have tried to reach his body in time. Instead, if I had only had more essence, I could have done something differently. Sunny hesitated for a moment and then threw the amulet into the maw of the Covette's coffers. Why are you so down? Yeah, we might have failed to get rid of that bastard, but then again, we've done better than 100 lost and 2 Knights of Valor did. That's not too bad of an achievement, isn't it? Plus, Mordred's plans are also ruined. Look at Sunny keeping up fucking morale. Good for him. I feel like this is rekindling their friendship, right? Wow, 94, bro. There's almost 100 of you guys. Holy shit. The Might seemed in control, but trust me, the guy is as much trouble as we are. Things didn't exactly go his way either. The blind girl remained silent for a few moments, then nodded and helped him stand up. Someone rested, but not at all free of exhaustion. They continued moving forward, some crossing into the outward ring. When they did, however, Cassie suddenly froze and trembled. Sunny tensed. What? Then he heard it too, the insidious sound of approaching footsteps, and a second later, Welf's familiar voice. There you are. Gritting his teeth, Sunny grabbed Cassie's hand and ran in the opposite direction. Damn it, damn it, damn it. His chest was burning, pulsating with excruciating pain, then moved with all the speed they could muster, but what was the point? A master was so much faster than it awakened. Even though Mordred didn't seem to be in a hurry, the sound of his footsteps was growing closer and closer. It's like fucking, I feel like I'm raiding Halloween. Where fucking Michael Myers is just creeping up on his victims from the shadows. He's just walking and he catches up. Even though, or it's like Jason, right? Even though Mordred didn't seem to be in a hurry, the sounds of his footsteps was growing closer and closer. Before he could reach them, however, the 2 whole night temples suddenly shook, throwing Sunny to the floor. Did somebody open the door? An explosion of pain radiated through his body, and a moment later, his shadow essence was not constrained by the outer walls of the citadel anymore. It pierced the black stone and easily reached into the vast emptiness beyond. Oh shit, he's here, right? Sunny clenched his fist. The seal, it's lifted. The saint has arrived. Oh, oh my fucking, it's plural? Saints? I thought only one saint. So there's more than one. It's him and dude, Sunny, that's a good emoji. You know the emoji? They're losing control. That's what Mordred is feeling. This is Mordred. He's like, what the fuck? Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fucking good. It's gonna be a really fucking good chapter. Chapter 595. Chapter 595 is called The Saints Are Coming. Ooh, that fucking title sounds hard, dude. What does this ever remind me of? The red things are coming. The red wings are coming. I've heard that before somewhat. Okay, back to emoji. Chapter 595 is called The Saints Are Coming. After that point, Sunny and Cassie weren't too far away from the gate chamber, where they had made a morbid discovery soon after escaping from the cage. Back then, the heavy gates had been closed and sealed, but now it seemed that they were finally open. Saint Cormac had returned from his expedition to the Hollow Mountains a few days sooner than expected. I forgot the chapter count. For a moment, Sunny was overcome by fierce joy. Then, however, the cold and rational part of his mind took over. Yes, the arrival of the Saint created the path of escape and was bound to solve their Mordred problem, most likely, but who would say that the transcendent warrior would not turn out to be an even deadlier threat? The first thing Saint Cormac was going to see after entering the Citadel was a pile of mutilated corpses. After that, he would most likely kill anyone who appears in his way. After all, oh, this is not good. After all, any survivor would either be a potential vessel of the banished prince or a witness. Sunny gritted his teeth, then rose to his feet and pulled Cassie into a side corridor. There they hid in the shadows, wrapped her cloak around themselves, and waited. He didn't dare to extend his shadow sense towards the gate and send his shadows forward to scout, fearful that to draw the Saint's attention so neither of them knew what was going on. A few seconds had passed in a terrifying silence, and then Sunny heard some rustle through the corridor they had just left. A gust of wind blew past them as if it left behind by something moving at incredible speed. A moment later, they heard a distant impact and the Night Temple trembled once again. It seemed that Saint Cormac had already found more dread. Sunny pushed Cassie to her feet and hissed, "Hurry to the gate." They ran to the exit. Soon the familiar chamber came into view, fresh air mixing with terrible smell of a rotting corpse. The gates of the Night Temple stood wide open, the impenetrable darkness of the sky below stretching into the eternity beyond them. And that's where the other saint is fucking waiting. Cormac goes in, and like fucking 3 other saints are waiting by the door, huh? The tall doorway seemed like a portal into the endless night. Now, slowing down at an even moment, Sunny and Cassie dashed towards freedom, passed through the gates, and finally escaped the cursed cathedral. They made it out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. After a month of suffering, bloodshed, and harrowing dread they had experienced in the ghastly stone trap, the air of the lightless abyss seemed sweet like nectar. Just as they left, the Night Temple shredded once again, thus falling into its ancient walls. Far below them rang somberly their usually melodious song, sounding strangely staggering and frantic. The saint was battling the Prince of Nothing, whose citadel... Where... We have 100 people? Where you guys been? What's up? What's up, guys? It's been a while since we had this many people. The Saint was... I remember it was like this kind of like when we finished Volume 2. Forgotten Shore. The Saint was battling the Prince of Nothing, the whole Citadel suffering the burden of their furious clash. Hurry, it's not over. The two of them dashed across the rickety bridge that swayed above the chasm of the sky below on rusty chains, and soon reached the treacherous stairs that skitted the slope of the northern island. Running up the narrow steps, both of them knew that the one wrong step can potentially cost them their lives, but Sunny was unwilling to slow down. They had reached the surface, crossed the island, traveling the heavy trains, all before the Saint Cormac was done dealing with the escaped prisoner. Too long, this is taking too long. Sunny hesitated for a moment, then summoned the heavily burdened, "Climb onto my back." Cassie lingered, then did as she was told. He drove the black needle between the plates of the undying chain, cursed them, and threw his hands forward. The triangular blade of the prowling thorn shooting into the overhanging stone slope, with the blind girl's weight adding to his own. The speed of the descent wasn't too fast. However, with the help of the kunai and its invisible string, Sunny was able to increase it somewhat. It was an arduous and nerve-wracking journey. The two of them were like a spider scaling a mountain with the help of a single thread of silk. The difference was as the mountain was steeper than vertical, and that there was furious winds threatening to either crush them against the stones or throw them away into the darkness of the sky below. However, after a dozen torturous minutes, or maybe even an eternity, they still managed to reach the surface of the island alive. We fucking did it, bro. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. We did it. We're out. Sunny dismissed the needle and fell onto the soft ground, gripping his chest. There were disturbing wheezing sounds coming out of his lungs with each breath. He lay motionless for a few moments and then allowed Cassie to pull him to his feet. I know, we need to move. It's not time to rest yet." And they ran across the field of flowers, the hollow mountains towering behind them, with mist was flowing down the slopes, and there was something white dancing in the air in front of them too. Sunny felt a pleasant cold spreading across his burning face. His heart contorted painfully. Snow, it's snowing. Oh yeah, because it's November. Was it December already? Or did the first snowfall arrive ahead of time as well? There was no escaping fate. The northern island trembled beneath them, and just a few moments later, a dark figure appeared in their way. Maybe it's Kai and Effie looking for them. Fingers crossed. Sunny, he fucking caught up. Sunny had never met Saint Cormac, but he recognized him almost instantly. Only a transcendent could have such a deep, unfathomable shadow and a presence that seemed to affect the very world around him. The saint looked to be in his 30s with a cold face and dark fuck, this is so sick. This reminds me of the ending of no spoilers. This reminds me of a very specific fight in Kill Bill when it's snowing, and then whenever there's blood, all the red blood lands on the beautiful white snow. It's like a beautiful white blanket. Insane. His black armor was battered and worn, barely holding together after a month of exploring the death zone. Surprisingly, it wasn't too impressive. As far as armor type memories went, neither was he wielding a terrifying weapon. His fingers, however, were covered with fresh blood, crimson drops falling down and painting the delicate violent flowers red. It seemed that Mordred had failed to gain freedom in the end. His last vessel was destroyed. Saint Cormac frowned, looking at the two of them, then took a step forward, the snow swirled, surrounding him like a cold mantle. Sunny was suddenly overwhelmed by feeling a suffocating killing intent. He shifted slightly, pushing Cassie behind him. His eyes started around, hoping to find something, anything that would save their lives. Then suddenly, oh fuck, I don't like this. Then suddenly, the world darkened as though a transient shadow covered the sun. A second later, the shadow was gone and a rustle of wings, and a tall, slender woman standing between them and the approaching saint, her posture straight like an arrow. Wealth? No, I'm stupid. It's a saint. My bad. She dead. Skytide shielded Sunny and Cassie with her body. Oh, it's Skytide. It's her. Okay, it's the beautiful woman that's married. Skytide, right? Skytide shielded Sunny and Cassie with her body and glanced at the other transcendent warrior. Her beautiful face is cold and stark as always, her vertical pupils full of calm, grim resolve. That is enough, Cormac. Turn back. No fucking way they're gonna fight. There is no fucking way. The two of them, the two saints, are gonna clash on whether they kill them or let them live. Let's fucking go, dude. Chapter 596 is called And We Were Gone. Sunny staggered back, stunned by the sudden appearance of Saint Therese. A tense, dangerous silence settled over the island after she spoke, with only the wailing of the wind breaking. Snow danced in the air, slowly settling onto the cold ground. His heart was beating like a caged animal. Where did she come from? What is going on? Damn it. Cormac scowled and looked at the slender woman with a dark expression on his stern, weathered face. The saint did not seem amused by the sudden appearance of the leader of the White Feather Clan. Skytide, stay out of this. Saint Therese didn't move, still shielding Sunny and Cassie with her slender body. The wind picked up, and the clouds seemed to become heavier, as if expressing her suppressed emotions, only as Sunny realized they weren't suppressed at all. Skytide just didn't show them on her face. Instead, the world itself did it for her. I think not. Cormac winced, resentful sparks appearing in his eyes. You don't know what you are interfering, Therese. Get out of my way. This is not your business. She shifted slightly, the howling wind, the growling louder. The violet flowers band pressed down. Oh, fucking Aura. Take Miss Easy. She deserves some quality time. We either take her out somewhere like right after volume 3, or we keep going. We'll see. I'm gonna check in with her. I'm gonna see how fast can she get ready. If she can't get ready in time, we'll probably have to save it for like next week. She want to do something spontaneous, so I'm gonna see how spontaneous she wants to be, you know? And if she can't be spontaneous and get ready within 10 minutes, then we'll probably have to plan it for next week. And we can keep reading. She shifted slightly, the howling of the wind growing louder. The violent flowers bent, pressed down to the ground. This is my land. These awakened are on my citadel. Anything that happens here and to them is my business. The other saint sighed, then took a step forward. The entire garrison of the Night Temple was wiped out. These two are the only witnesses. Are you sure that you want to make their fate your burden? Skytide frowned, then spoke, her voice even. If that is true, we can question them together back in the sanctuary. Cormac smiled darkly, then shook his head. I'm afraid that won't be convenient. You might not know my task here, Therese, but you know who gave it to me. Obstructing me in this matter is the same as obstructing the will of valor. You wouldn't want to do that, would you? A corner of Skytide's mouth suddenly twisted upward. She stared at the fearsome saint and said, a hint of mockery in her voice. What is he going to do? How is he going to punish me? Exile my clan to a remote frontier region, maybe. Oh, wait. Oh, because he already did that. She took a step forward as well, her tone changing, becoming darker and heavier. The cloud swallowed the sun, submerged the world into shadows. You have forgotten, Cormac. I am Skytide of the White Feather Clan, not Valor. I am a vassal of the king, not his servant. 6 years ago, I looked the other way and allowed your Odysseus. I thought it said Odysseus. I was like, was that an Odyssey reference? I looked the other way and allowed your odious scheme to happen. I have regretted it ever since. This is my land, my isles. You are only a guest. Oh, Tyrese. Did I say Tyrese? No, I don't think that was a spoiler. It's okay. I think he was just correcting the pronunciation. It's okay. We have talked about it. Tyrese. You are only a guest here. Wow. This is my land, my isles. You are only a guest here. I warn you, do not test the limits of my hospitality. As he spoke the last words, a deafening thunderclap resounded, rolling across the chained isles like a herald of heavenly wrath. Oh my god, Zeus is fucking listening. I feel like I'm like watching the Odyssey. But when you hear the fucking thunder, yo, Wiz, go watch the Odyssey. It's such a good movie. Wiz, it's emojis only. Hey, I didn't set that rule. Mod set that rule, bro. Hey, he's a mod too. It's cool. As he spoke the last words, a deafening thunderclap resounded, rolling across the... Hey, why am I not a mod on yours? Next time there's a stream, I'm gonna join and be like, I request mod privileges. As he spoke the last words, a deafening thunderclap resounded, rolling across the chained aisles like a herald of heavenly wrath. Cormac stared at her, unimpressed. An expression of contempt appeared in the depths of his cold, dangerous eyes. The saint moved his shoulders as if stretched his muscles and then said darkly, your arrogance is so tiresome, Tyrese. Warn me. What gives you the courage to warn me? You say that I have forgotten, but it is you who doesn't seem to remember. Who am I? What am I? And what am I capable of? He stepped forward, his killing intent growing thicker and more suffocating, almost palpable. What gave you the idea that this is a negotiation? You will stand down or I will put you down. What the fuck is going on? How is there 4 fucking chapters left, bro? What's gonna happen? Either way, the result would be the same. Saint Therese lingered for a moment and then looked over her shoulders at... Oh, this is where they jump over. Wait. Cassie's prophecy. The only way where he can escape, where he can not have 2 fucking saints fight, is for him to willingly jump into the abyss. Saint Therese lingered for a moment and then looked over her shoulder at Sunny and Cassie. Her gaze was calm and somber. It's time for the 2 of you to go. Sunny took a step back, his mouth suddenly dry. He opened it, trying to force out a question. But what about? Skytide was already looking at Cormac, who was approaching with steady steps. Her hair danced in the wind like a stream of pale gold. Run, you won't survive the fury of this battle. Sunny hesitated for a split second, then grabbed Cassie and ran. They dashed away from the 2 saints, heading for the distant edges of the island. He didn't know what a fight between transcendents would look like, but he had no doubt that the mere mortals like the 2 of them had no place in the middle of it. Crazy, the world has gone completely crazy. A moment later, something collided with a thunderous roar behind them, and Sunny was thrown into the air. A violent shockwave passed through the body, causing a short scream to escape from his mouth. He hit the ground and felt it shifting, as if a powerful earthquake was happening mere meters away. Sunny struggled to rise back to his feet, then helped Cassie do the same and continued to run. Shards of stone flew past them like bullets, and the snowfall was already turning into a furious blizzard. Behind this is hype. Behind them, 2 vast shadows rose into the sky. Fuck, man, my legs are sweaty. One was a giant bird of prey, her feathers white, her sharp beak and devastating talons forged out of lustrous polished steel. Her enormous wings were wreathed in the thunderclouds, and bolts of lightning danced around her body like a radiant mantle. The other was a ferocious wyvern, his black scales as dark as the abyss, with might muscles rolling under them like an iron chain. The head of the creature was crowned with the twisting horns, and his maw countless sharp fangs glowed darkly, illuminated by a molten red flame burning with its depths of the beast's adamantine body. Did you guys do that at the same time? Same punishment and same time, Sunny. You guys were so fucking in sync. What the fuck? Tyrese and Cormac flew into the sky, soon disappearing in the vault of storm clouds. A terrifying roar rolled across the island, and then another shockwave hit, tearing a hole in the blizzard. Boiling blood suddenly streamed from above, falling on the snow like a vermilion rain. Gods, oh gods. Sunny and Cassie could only run. From time to... I'm getting sweaty. From time to time, a violent tremor threw them to the ground. Their hurricane wind threw snow and sharp bits of ice into their faces, and her ears were ringing from the thunderous cacophony of the titanic battle happening somewhere above them. They were almost at the edge of the island, ready to jump on the chain, where there was a sudden lull of the terrifying havoc. And then two shadows fell down from the sky so fast that Sunny couldn't even tell who was. The Seine collided against the center of the island with such force that its surface swayed like water. The shockwave of the impact was so fierce that it instantly obliterated the field of flowers, blew away the top layers of the soil, and made the stronghold of the northern edge crumbled into dust. Slight foreshadowing on how they fall, right? The ground itself split open in wide cracks spreading to both ends of the aisle, cutting it in two. And this is from two fucking saints fighting. Wiz, I'm telling you, man. Shadow Slave is good, bro. This is a good series. It is so fucking good. The northern island shuddered and then crumbled, large pieces of stone breaking off and flying into the darkness as more and more cracks appeared and the tension of the heavily chains tore the island apart. Sunny, of course, could not appreciate the full scope of the disaster. All he could sense was that they were sent rolling down once again. This time even more violently than before, only this time instead of soil or stone, what they found beneath them was nothing. The ground disappeared and Sunny found himself falling down, down, down. Down into the endless darkness of the sky below. All he could do was grab Cassie and hold her close. Ah, prophecy! Making sure that they weren't separated. Bloodied, mangled, and weak, they plunged into the abyss as all around them devastating region. That was the vision. That was Cassie's vision where they will allegedly died. Okay. The Night Temple cracked, then disintegrated into the rain of black stones. The seven bells rang mournfully as they I'm sorry. So the Night Temple has been crumpled and destroyed. Is that what just happened? The Night Temple cracked and disintegrated into a rain of black stones. The seven bells rang mournfully as they disappeared into the void. The colossal chain that served as one of the anchors of the chained isles shot towards the hollow mountains, colliding with the slopes with enough force to make the ancient slopes shatter and create a momentary hole in the veil of the flowing mist. Luckily for Sunny, his eyes were still closed, so he didn't see what hid beneath. And somehow in all the chaos, the two saints continued their harrowing battle. Sunny held Cassie tightly and fell, happily to get further and further away from the clash with each second. After a while, the sounds of the fighting disappeared far above. The signs of destruction disappeared too, as well as the last remnants of light. Now they were falling through the absolute darkness in complete silence and solitude, with nothing threatening their lives, and the vision came true. I heard you're almost done. Give me some time. It was sort of peaceful. Sunny sighed, finally allowing himself to open his eyes. Nah, it's okay, Sunny. No, it's okay if Wiz is chatting. No, it's cool. He's talking about how close he is to the ending of COI. It's all good. It was sort of peaceful. Sunny sighed, finally allowing himself to open his eyes. He's a homie. Streamers get a pass. Sunny sighed, finally allowing himself to open his eyes, then glanced at Cassie and forced out a weak smile. See, we're not dead. Your vision was a bust again. She trembled. How are you so calm? We are falling into the sky below, not dead yet. He tried to laugh, then winced and decided against it. This place is actually not so bad. Just wait for a little and we'll fall for a bit more, and then I'll summon memories to either guide us back up or push us towards the rift. We have food and water. At least you won't believe what I had to eat the last time. Remembering the dead mimic, Sunny shivered. Yeah, this is definitely not bad. Believe me, it could have been so much worse. However, as soon as Sunny said, as soon as Sunny what? Oh, Cormac is following them. Cormac, fucking, it's like fucking invincible. He's fucking chasing him down, dude. As soon as Sunny said that, something changed in the lightless void. A swift shadow shot towards... It's fucking Cormac. A swift shadow shot towards them, surrounded by a circle of furious light. What? Before Sunny could even react, two hands extended towards them. One grabbed him, the other closing around the nape of Cassie's cloak. With nothing to stand, they were as defenseless as Pierce had been moments before Sonny had killed him. Damned, oh, thank gods I found you. He blinked the voice. Why did it sound so familiar? Sonny stared, I don't want to know who it is, hold up. Sonny stared into the light, his eyes slowly adjusting. Soon he was able to see the shape of a paper lantern floating into the air just above the shoulder of a tall, infuriating, handsome young man. Wait, it's Kai. It's Kai. Handsome young man, it's fucking Kai. And he's, oh god, I thought it was fucking Cormac, bro. Oh, Jesus Christ. Handsome young man in a needless fashionable armor. Sonny opened his mouth and closed it, then opened it again. Kai, what the hell? Oh my god, it's Kai. Let's fucking go, dude. Kai, what the hell are you doing here? The charming archer, the most beautiful, handsome man of the series. The charming archer smiled. An expression of joy and profound relief appeared on his face. What else? Rescuing you, of course. Oh, bro. Oh, let's fucking go. I got a tear in my eye. This is so fucking hype, dude. Holy shit. I genuinely thought a fucking saint was chasing him down into the fucking black abyss, bro, of the sky below. I was like, it's fucking game over, dude. Chapter 907. I'm telling you, this series is so fucking good. Chapter 507 is called Welcome Aboard. Hold on for a bit more. The archer strained a little, bearing the weight as he darted through the abyss. His flight swift and effortless, illuminated by the paper lantern. The three of them traveled through the darkness like a small comet, moving faster and faster. The wind whistled in Sonny's ears. He remained silent for a bit, dumbfounded, and then asked, wait, what is it? The fuck am I saying? Wait, was it you who brought Saint Tyrese here? Kai smiled, looking somewhere far away. Of course. When you and Cassie didn't return to the real world, we knew that the negotiation with the representatives of Clan Valor must have failed. But when you didn't arrive to Shikrep Island by November as the plan had been, it was clear that something went wrong. So Effie and I waited for a bit, then went to the White Feather Clan for help. Good. These are such fucking good friends, bro. Until the fucking very end of the series, it's like, dude, they are the best fucking group of friends, bro. He paused for a moment and then added, eventually we decided to come to the Night Temple ourselves. That was a week ago. We have just arrived yesterday, but the Citadel was sealed. Sonny frowned, suddenly catching an inconsistently in Kai's words. Wait, a week ago? How did you cross the chained aisle so fast? The archer smiled brightly. Look ahead. What does he... How are they getting here so fast? Sonny glanced forward and froze. They were swiftly approaching another source of light, this one much, much larger, or rather, it was moving in a direction even faster than Kai was flying. A few moments later, a graceful shape of... Is it a Griffith that's helping him fly? Is it another beautiful saint that we know of? A graceful shape of a resplendent wooden... Oh, the wooden ship! Of a resplendent wooden ship became visible, following through the darkness. Oh, I know what it is! I caught the reference! It's the Red Wings are coming. Huge tangent. Hold up. Huge tangent. We just started the chapter. Guilty 3 is a Final Fantasy IV fan. The beginning of Final Fantasy IV starts with them on the flying ship, and they're like, oh my god, the Red Wings are coming. The Red Wings are coming. Like, they're here to destroy and kill people. And there's a chapter called, what was it? The blank is coming? The Saints are coming? The Saints are coming, i.e. the Red Wings are coming on the floating ship. That's how Tyrese got here so fast, because she was, wow. I understood that reference. That was a Final Fantasy IV reference. Only FF4 fans that played that OG Pixel game would understand. That was cool. I caught that. Flowing through the darkness of the sky below as though on water, its sails were pristine white and around the main mast. A young tree was growing, its branches brimming with vibrant green leaves. The firekeepers had succeeded in repairing the ancient vessel. After all, it seemed to look elegant and swift, its hull devoid of cracks and breach that had marred its surface before. A patchwork of replacement boards still stopped out of the polished wood, and here and there, the structures of the ship seemed rickety and splendish, especially near the bow, which had been previously almost destroyed. However, overall, the vessel was a magnificent sight to behold. There was a battery of light, memories illuminating the ship, and especially bright on burning at the tip of a long and sharp bowsprit. Human figures could be seen on the deck, moving around in a hurry. Sonny stared at the swiftly approaching ship. Stunned by the sight of it, it was hard to believe that this had been the same abomination invested wreck he knew. Fuck, I scrolled on too much. Now that the ancient vessel was repaired, it looked almost the same as the golden coins had sacrificed to the altar Noctis. Oh, because was that not on it? Or you played the classic ones? Dude, I've been replaying all of them, even the ones I haven't played. I'm only missing 10, 2, 11, 12, and the 13 trilogy, and I have officially played every single Final Fantasy game. Kai accelerated even more, then slowed down and landed on the wooden deck smoothly, feeling a solid surface under his feet. Sunny swayed even a little and looked at the firekeepers that surrounded them. Then he sighed and fell down, instantly losing consciousness. After the terrible day, not a terrible mouth he had, some rest was long overdue. A couple of hours later, Sunny came back to his senses. He was lying near the main mast of the ship, under the branches of the young tree, a soft pillow under his head and a warm blanket covering his body. He still felt terrible, but mostly due to the soul damage Mordred had dealt him. The physical wounds were not bothering him too much anymore. It seemed that while Sunny was out of it, the healer of the Firekeeper Shim had treated him. I am actually alive. What a miracle. I am actually alive. I need to remember to put that loop. What a miracle. He grimaced and sat up, then stared into the darkness for... we're almost done with volume. He grimaced and sat up, then stared into the darkness for a bit. The ancient vessel was swiftly flying through the abyss, descending into the depths. Due to that, his body felt nice and weightless. Sunny dismissed the outer layers of the undying chain and studied his chest, where the terrible wounds had already closed. Be it just barely, now that he was conscious, he would be able to stitch it up, or at least cover the gash of bandage... Cover the gash with a bandage, as well as properly take care of the countless smaller injuries on his body. Satisfied with his state, Sunny looked around, noticing Cassie sleeping nearby. Her face was calm and peaceful. He remained still. So their vision passed already when they fell. He remained still for a few moments, coming to terms with the fact that the harrowing adventure seemed to be over. Of course, in the future, he was going to have to deal with its consequences, and even before that, the second nightmare awaited, perhaps much more terrifying. But at least they were free of the damned Night Temple. What a fiasco. He didn't get to dwell on the frustration for long. However, because of the delicious smell suddenly reached his nostrils, and a few moments later, Effie appeared nearby carrying 2 plates of somewhat seemed like real, freshly cooked food. Sunny's eyes glistened and his mouth instantly watered. The Huntress grinned and handed him a plate. Here you go, doofus. Welcome aboard. It's fucking Effie. He flashed for a smile and then attacked the food like a ravenous beast. Effie sat down on the deck and placed a second plate near Cassie, who stirred awake soon after. A few minutes later were spent in silence, disturbed only by the sound of energetic chewing. At some point, Kai landed nearby and joined them, an easygoing smile on his face. Finally, Sunny was done with his meal and pushed the plate away. Hey, Effie, about that marriage proposal of yours, I might have changed my mind. She scoffed. You wish. He chuckled and then glanced into the darkness that surrounded them from all sides. From the fact that we were descending, I get that we were going towards the Ebony Tower. Kai nodded, yeah. We're moving down and towards the tower as fast as we can. You will have to guide us to the rift in the flames once we reach them. Whatever had happened to the Night Temple, we thought that ascending should take priority, not to mention that facing a fallout as masters might change everything. Sunny remained silent for a bit, then smiled crookedly. Good thinking. Fucking good thinking, man. As soon as he said it, his face darkened. Sunny suddenly looked up and then pulled a little. Get ready, something is approaching. They hurriedly stood up and summoned their weapons. The firekeepers did the same, staring into the darkness with tense faces. A few moments later, something landed on the deck. Is it Tyrese? A few moments later, something landed on the deck with a wet thud, sharp fangs glistening, reflecting the light of the lanterns. Or is it Tyrese's husband? It was the head of a giant black wyvern, torn viciously at the neck. Its eyes were ghastly and empty, and its tongue hung lifeless out of the terrifying maw, the red flames that had once burned within it gone. Saint Cormac was dead. Tyrese killed him? What? The realization sent a shiver through Sunny's body, and a split second later, Skytie was suddenly standing above the head of the slain transcendent, her face cold and expressionless. Tyrese looked battered, her graceful armor torn and bloodied. Her golden hair was disheveled, some strands of it painted red. Her presence, however, was unchanged. It was calm and steady. She looked at the 4 of them and frowned. Then her gaze slid lower and focused on the empty plates. Do you have more food? Bring it. I am famished. What the fuck? Dude, just like that. She has no questions. She's not like, yo, so you're gonna tell me what the fuck happened in there? Like, give me food, I am famished? Really? Chapter 598 is called Broken Balance, as we take a sip of our coffee. As the saint ate, not all that protrude by the head of the terrifying wyvern staring. Dude, my voice is, I'm kind of losing my voice. I was screaming a lot playing pickleball last night, just like going crazy. There's a lot of rage baiting. I feel like I kind of lost my voice. As the saint ate, not all that protrude by the head of the terrifying wyvern staring at her with dead eyes. The rest of them stood awkwardly and waited for her to satiate her hunger. Sunny observed Skytide with somber expression, then glanced at what remained of the fearsome transcendent Cormac. His heart was heavy. Damnation, being the cause of 100 lost and 2 masters dying, one of them by his own hand no less, was already bad enough, not to mention that the whereabouts of the sole prisoner of the Night Temple, Prince Mordred, was currently unknown. Also, dude, wait! Did he? I thought we killed him. He's unknown. The whereabouts of the sole prisoner of the Night Temple, Prince Mordred, were currently unknown. Also the direct result of Sunny's actions, but causing the demise of the saint was nothing short of an utter disaster. Saints were irreplicable in all of humanity. There were just a few dozen. Cormac's death was not going to go unnoticed or unpunished. Would I even be able to return to the real world? Skytide finally finished her meal and then drank some water and glanced at Cassie and him. What exactly happened in the Night Temple? The two of them looked at each other. After a few moments, Sunny spoke, his voice somber. Everything went wrong from the very start. As soon as we arrived, one of the masters discovered a piece of mirror in my belongings. That shard, I picked it up at the Reckoning Island. There was apparently a person imprisoned in the Citadel, and he escaped his bindings with the help of the mirror I delivered somehow. He paused and studied Saint's face, trying to ascertain if she had known what would happen. Tyrese certainly knew of the mirror beast, however, she could not have known that Sunny used to carry the mirror shard the creature had left behind. His attempt to read anything on her face failed, but she left without an answer. Oh, so he was left without an answer. With a sigh, Sunny continued. The masters destroyed the gateway and sealed the temple. After that, the escaped prisoner slaughtered the lost and took possession of the master's body. He even stole the knife from the shattered altar. In the end, it was just the 3 of us left alive, and he would have probably killed us, but the Saint Cormac arrived just in time. You know the rest. Saint Tyrese stared at him for a few moments and shook her head. So the prince still lives. How could this be? She frowned and looked straight at him. But where is he now? Sunny struggled. That we don't know. Saint Cormac must have destroyed his body, but as to where his soul went, your guess is as good as mine. He is probably hiding in one of the mirror shards, falling into the sky below with the rest of the Night Temple as we speak. If Sunny can make it out, I can see him getting out. Skytide remained silent for a while, then sighed. I see you did well to survive. Don't worry about the rest. There are no witnesses left, and even the Citadel itself is gone. I will deal with the fallout as well as I can. However, it will be good for the two of you to disappear for a while. Proceed to the seed of the nightmare as you have planned and challenge it. By the time you return, if you do, the worst part will be over. Oh my god, I'm losing my voice. The situation will be different too. She rose and glanced into the darkness of the sky below, a somber expression on her face. Now that the Hollow Mountain's anchor is no more, the chained isles will shift and change positions. That will cause a mass migration of the nightmare creatures. Oh, both those from the surface and those from the dark side. Even some of the corrupted abominations might move to new hunting grounds. Everything is gonna fucking shift around. I will have my hands full for the foreseeable future, so we won't see each other again for a long time. Good luck to you. Sunny stared at the beautiful saint and then at the head of the wyvern. He cleared his throat. I am sorry, Lady Skytide. But won't you be in trouble? Killing a saint is not something that can be simply forgiven, no matter your status, right? Tyrese lingered and shook her head. I will be punished, sure, but not too severely. Do you understand why? Sunny glanced at his friends, who had the same confused expression. Not really, she sighed. There were 12 saints who swore loyalty to the great clan Valor. One less than those who are sworn to the great clan Song. Now that there are 11, while Song still has 13, with Song Sishan back from the Forgotten Shore, The number will soon increase even further, with Lady Morgan is still too young and lacks experience to challenge the third nightmare. The balance of power will be broken. Sunny listened to her words attentively. So the great clans are at odds with each other. Two strongest are at least make sense. Skytide frowned, remained silent for a few moments, and then said, with the gap widening so drastically, Valor can't allow to lose me, or any more of their sins, so I will be fined more or less. This is also the reason why you will be. Okay, so it's not like, even though they want to get rid of her, they can't do it because they need the strength. He raised an eyebrow. Us? What do we have to do with any of this? Tyrese smiled slightly, looking at him, Cassie, Effie, and Kai. Right now, the four of you are just people who have raw potential. You are valuable, but not irreplaceable. However, should you survive the second nightmare and ascend, you will prove that you have the courage, skill, and determination to realize that potential. You will prove that you can be saints and thus become precious. When you return, the great clans will not only be unwillingly to eliminate you, and if they don't fucking conquer, then they'll probably be killed. The great clans will not only be unwillingly to eliminate you, they'll be fighting for your right to have you. Sunny scowled, connecting the statement with what Master Jet had told him before. His eyes grew bleak. What if we don't want to be had? Skytide looked at him for a while, then turned away. Her voice sounded even. Then you are out of luck. With that, she jumped up. A gust of cold wind suddenly enveloped the deck of the flying ship, and a moment later, a massive shadow separated from it and shot upwards, soon disappearing into the distance. Sunny, Cassie, Effie, and Kai, and the firekeepers were left standing in the darkness alone. After some time, the hunter shifted and sighed heavily. She ate all my food? What a Oh, my chest hurts laughing. She ate all my food. What a disaster. What a tragedy. Oh, that's fucking funny. The flying ship. All right, let's keep going. Chapter 599, my brothers and sisters. Chapter 599. The flying ship. The flying ship soared through the darkness, descending deeper and deeper into the empty void. After St. Tyrese had left, nothing much happened for a long time. They were surrounded by nothing, and nothing bothered them. That was the oppressive nothingness that Sidney was familiar with all too well. However, now things were different. The first thing, he had fallen into the sky below. He was alone and desperate, without any way to escape, and no certainty of what awaited him. This time he was surrounded by people, knew where he was going, and that they would be able to turn back at any point if need be. Not to mention that Sunny had a whole ship to explore, as opposed to plummeting down on top of the corpse of a dead devil. The ancient vessel was not giant, but large enough to make their journey rather comfortable. There was an upper deck, the main cargo hold, the lower deck stretching from the bow to the middle of the point of the ship, the auxiliary cargo hold. I mean, we did fight in the cargo hold, so yeah, we remember those places. The auxiliary cargo hold beneath it, and the various compartments near the stern, including living quarters for the crew, two separate mess decks, a spacious cabin, several small cabins that seemed as though they were meant for either guests or officers. They have a war room, and a few service compartments. Currently, there were less than 30 people on board, so there was more than enough space for everyone. In fact, the vessel seemed rather empty and rough around the edges. The members of Cassie's cohort and the other firekeepers that joined them to assist them in repairs had done a splendid job of restoring the flying ship's overall integrity, but they had no time to work of the interior. A few essential faculties had been haphazardly outfitted with everything necessary to barely function, but most of the compartments still required a lot of work. There was no furniture of any kind except for the crude table, chairs, and a flimsy hammocks, and most of the vessels looked empty on the bare bones. It was a far cry from the luxurious it must have been furnished, outfitted, and decorated once in the ancient past. However, after the hellish month Sunny had spent in the Night Temple, this environment had seemed almost like paradise. He had a whole cabin to himself, and the cargo hold was stocked with enough food and water to last them for a few months. The gallery was also fully operational, so at least their meals were taken care of. More than that, the flying ship did not wobble constantly up and down like a seafaring one would, and instead swayed gently from time to time, which was sort of calming and even a bit cozy. In a strange vessel that moved partly due to sorcery, the sapling of a sacred tree growing around its mast, serving as its source of it, and partly to the wind, the firekeeper seemed more or less capable of operating the sails, be it somewhat tentatively and used to either their aspects or memories, akin to Cassie's wooden staff, to produce gales that pushed the ship into the right direction. As a result, their descent into the abyss was swift, smooth, and almost relaxing. Super fucking different from his first try. Sunny spent around a week slowly recuperating from his wounds. Oh, he's gonna be at full fucking strength when they go into the second. Oh, it ends with them going into the second nightmare. Restoring his strength and resting, slept on a lot of 8 as much as he could, knowing that the second nightmare was going to test the limits of... Dude, Volume 4 is going to be so fucking good. Knowing that the second nightmare was going to test the limits of his endurance, he had to enter it as good of a shape as he could. I'm sorry, is your guy between Volume 3 or 4, which is your favorite? 3 or 4? He also used the time to think about what had transpired in the Night Temple, analyzing everything he had learned about Mordred, and go about each of his thoughts and decisions. Trying to learn from his mistakes, the memories of being fooled and manipulated by the Prince of Nothing still haunted him. There were also a lot of new information Sunny had received in that month. Information about the Awakened of higher ranks, Anvil of Valor, the Great Clan, the tension between them. 4 by a good bit? Hell yeah. And even about his own aspects. The silent shadows that dwelled in the Soul Sea were not there just for decoration after all. He had always suspected that there was a purpose to them, but never had any proof. Well, now that there was proof, Sunny just had no idea what it all meant and what he was supposed to do with them. No matter what he tried after the Battle of Mordred, the shadows refused to react. They just stood in their usual spots, silent and lifeless just like before, as if pretending that nothing had happened. Why the fuck did they react, bro? I've heard 5 is better than 3 and 4. I have heard that. But if you guys are already saying that 4 is better than 3, now the volumes only get better. Volume 4 is better than 3 and 5 is better than 4. So like, it's a win-win. It's gonna get better for like the next few months. As if pretending that nothing had happened. It's almost like he had imagined the whole thing. In the end, Sunny had to accept the fact that the mystery of the shadows was going to remain unsolved for now. Ugh. He had learned that his soul had a fearsome defense system against those who would try to possess it. That was something at least. After the first week, with his injuries healed enough, I wonder if that's something because of the Shadow God, right? Like, you know how like in the beginning, the Shadow tentacles like killed the fucking Mountain King in his first nightmare? So like the shadows moved independently when the gods answered, right? Like I wonder if in a way they're able to control like said shadows within his soul sea, because like he still lingers in there somewhere. I don't know. Then he started training, slowly conditioning his body for the deadly trial ahead. This was somewhat of a useless process, really, since he would be inhabiting a different vessel entirely inside of the nightmare. But training the body helped him put his mind in order as well. For that reason, Sunny practiced with the same ferocious determination as back in the Dark City. Kai, Effie, and Cassie joined him, too, working on improving their own condition, as well as learning how to work together as a single unit again. It had been a long time since the 4 of them fought side by side. All of them had grown since then, both in terms of power and experience. They were awakened now, possessed new abilities, and had improved in their understanding of combat technique and skill. They needed to find new and better ways to enhance each other's strengths and shielding each other's weaknesses, as well as cooperating seamlessly to achieve a common goal. Without the guiding hand of Changing Star, it was much harder than they had remembered. Oh, that's sad. It's like we're missing somebody. None of them was really a natural leader, let alone one as talented and gifted in the arts of battle as Nephis had. Sunny is the leader. Back on the I'm sorry, are we pretending Sunny isn't a capable leader? He literally fucking rang the bell at the end of the Forgotten Shore, and everybody knew. Holy shit, Sunny's signaling us. Only now, faced with her absence, did Sunny understand how hard it actually was to build a powerful, cohesive, and effective cohort. Still, they did their best. A few days before they reached... Oh, I see at the end. A few days before they reached the rift in the Divine Flames, with the air outside of the flying ship already growing sizzling hot, Sunny woke up and stared into the darkness for a bit, and then sighed and went to the gallery to find something to eat. The food was tasty, but not very luxurious. And once again, he failed to meet his day by drinking a cup of coffee with a lot of sugar. And good for him, a lot of sugar in your coffee, just like me. And maybe even real milk. And he had wished to do once a long time ago in the cafeteria of the Awakened Academy before venturing into the dream room for the first time. Today was the day of the winter solstice. We should go. Gonna be a good day. Sunny had turned... Oh, he turned 19. Sunny had turned 19... Last time he celebrated his birthday in a blood-soaked castle standing in the middle of a cursed city. So he's 19 now. Wow. This time he was going to celebrate it aboard an ancient ship that flew through the lightless abyss, descending towards an ocean of flames. Is it somewhat an improvement, I guess? Last fucking chapter for the fucking Volume 3 finale. Let's go! New fucking milestone. Hooray! We did it! Chapter 600! Volume 3 finale! Woo! We did it! Chapter 6, and we're only like a fucking fifth of a way through the series. Oh my god, we still have 2,500 chapters to go. That is such an intimidating number, bro. And you think catching up with One Piece is bad? Bro. Oh, try catching up reading this out loud. Oh, man, this is so fucking daunting. God, man, I'm happy to read as much as I can, dude. Well, it's fucking fun. A react, by the way. This is a react, full-on reaction. We don't show chapters on screen. This is a react for anybody listening. Chapter 600 is called The Departure. Said it was not going to do anything special on that day, more so because the whole crew... Wait, I'm sorry. So his birthday lands on the winter solstice, and during the winter solstice was when we had the lunar solar eclipse. Okay. Yep. Oh, bro, there has to be some crazy... Oh, there's some crazy ass implications with the fucking solar eclipse. Oh my god. Bro. You know fucking why? This is a spoiler for people not cut up. This is how good I am. Bro, somebody was making fun of me in the comments. Like, I have to prepare for, like, my valid crash shots when he says his theories, because apparently my theories are bad. This is going to be a good fucking theory. The reason... This is a spoiler. Get ready. Give me your theory. Cover your ears if you don't want to get spoiled. The reason there is a fucking solar eclipse when Sunny was fucking born was because the fucking shadow god chose Sunny as like the vessel, or like his net, like the lineage. Like, they chose him, right? And that is why the fucking sun was covered in darkness, and that's why you didn't see shit. Like, bro, it took me 600 chapters to realize this shit. Bro, you're getting spoiled. Cover your ears. There was no fucking sunlight. Everything was clouded, and we are bringing the fucking the chicken. We are bringing the fucking kitchen, bro. We are turning up that fucking oven. Gordon Ramsay would be fucking proud. Literally, the fucking shadow god chose him. That's why it was fucking dark, bro. Like, you know how back in the day in ancient times when people saw a solar eclipse or like shit like that, people like, holy shit, like the gods, like something crazy is going on? That's literally what this series did. That's literally what's going on here. And if that hasn't happened yet, it's probably gonna happen at the end of the series. You're gonna get like it's gonna be like some crazy magi shit, where you get some crazy ass lore background on like the olden days or whatever, and like you see like all the shadow, like you see all the gods, and you can see them watching Sunny as he's born. Fuck. Put me in contact with Guilty 3. I want to know if that's true. Maybe it's the Guilty 3 all the time. Hey, maybe I've been Guilty 3 all this time. Dude, if you guys haven't read Magi, read Magi. There's like some crazy ass like world building that happens towards the end, and I think the series is going in the same direction now that I realize Sunny was born during a solar eclipse. Woo! Did we clip that? G3 ask Easy before he writes daily chapters. Let's read. Chapter 600. It's called The Departure. I actually just bought that movie yesterday. I think it's actually... Whoa! Wait a minute. I did buy it. I lied. I actually bought The Departed. The Departed is right there. Chapter 600, The Departure. Fuck, I am so sweaty. I got myself so hyped thinking of, like, fanficking over here. Or theorizing, theory crafting. Chapter 600 is called... Dude, I gotta catch my breath. Chapter 600 is called The Departure. Sunny was not going to do anything special on that day. More so because the whole crew was in a bit of a melancholic mood. This was all of their first winter solstice after escaping the Forgotten Shore. So the firekeepers... Dude, I feel like my heartbeat's going up. In a bit of the melancholic mood, this was all of their first winter solstices after escaping the Forgotten Shore. So the firekeepers huddled together, remembering their fallen friends and wishing the young sleepers who were going to enter the dream realm come night well. However, Effie and Kai had other plans. It seemed that Cassie had told them that this was his birthday. So the hunters cooked them up something special. I'm about to cry. And the four of them had a comparatively lavish dinner on the small mess deck, sharing the tales of what had happened to them in the past year and laughing about this and that. Oh, that's so beautiful. Laughter was much better than sorrow, especially considering that none of them knew when they would have an opportunity to laugh again. On the next day, the dark void around them was already hot enough to make moving to the upper deck hard. All of them dismissed most of their armor and worked the sails, their bodies glistening in sweat. Everyone worked together to keep the ship afloat and moving in the right direction, divided into two shifts. One would control the vessel while the other retreated inside to cool off and drink water. Luckily, with the hot air blow from below, they didn't need all the sails to achieve their goal, which made things easier. It had taken Sunny almost a month to reach the Divine Flame before, but the flying ship made the journey faster using several aspect abilities and ingenious tools. They were also able to navigate the abyss with a sufficient level of precision, quickly reaching the tear and continuing to descend in a wide spiral. The memory of the golden strings of fate was still burning in his mind, so by knowing where the twisted rock had been located in relation to their position, Sunny was able to guide the ship towards a rift in the ocean of the Divine Flames. By the evening, it was already visible, looking like a tiny black hole at the exhilarating tapestry of the furious light. However, the rift wasn't really that small. It just appeared so because of the distance Sunny had almost missed the first time. Flying through the very edge of the rift and being burned by the Divine Flames, this time around, they were going to keep the very middle of it separated from the molting orbs of the white fire by many... Oh, I almost unplugged my power. We would have lost my whole theory right there. Separated from the molting orbs of the white fire and many kilometers of empty space. Hopefully that would be enough to keep them from dying of heat. The sails were hoisted and the ship continued, plummeting towards the flames, supported only by the scorchous powers of the sacred tree and the ancient enchantments permeating the whole. Sunny was left alone at the helm, the rest of the crew seeking shelter in the main cargo hold, where the air was the coolest. He had also summoned the undying chain of the memory of fire, augmenting the protective charm of all three of his shadows. As the flying vessel came closer and closer to the rift, the leaves of the young tree rustled above him, and the ghostly runes suddenly appeared on the surface of the ancient ship. Slowly, the heat retreated a little. Standing on the upper deck, it was still hard and uncomfortable, but at least tolerable, especially with the help of his charm. So he carefully guided the vessel into the rift, keeping the very center of it as far away from the walls, the divine fire as he could. It was as though he was guiding the ship through the vertical tunnel that twisted slowly, moving left and right, forward and back. Luckily, descending didn't require a lot of skill from the helmsman, since he was barely acquainted with how to steer a boat, let alone a flying on the sides of a fridge gate, so he wouldn't have been able to do much if it went wrong. But they did not stop. It's like we're going on our own Odyssey right now, for people that have watched the Odyssey. So this is literally Odysseus and his crew on the fucking ship, bro, navigating the waters. Sometime later, the ancient vessel left the right and submerged into the darkness once again. The skies above burning like a sea of flame, he sent the ship flying towards the island that loomed into the void, not too far away, and let out a relieved sigh. They had made it. They moored the ship to one of the horizontal stone masts protruding from the island and disembarked, walking across the obsidian pillar. Everyone reached the solid ground and stopped, staring at the somber landscape in front of them in the stunned silence. The Ebony Island was just as the last time Sunny had visited it. When we ending, I think after this chapter, maybe. I think we are going to end it after this chapter. Just because I can hear my dog kind of barking, and I feel bad ignoring her. I'll show you guys here on stream right now before we ended. It was cut out of dark stone and floated in the endless emptiness, surrounded by drifting slabs of shattering obsidian. A tall and magnificent pagoda stood in the center, built a flawlessly black, lustrous material that seemed to devour any light that touched it. Here and there on the desolate surface, here and there, I thought that was a there and back again reference for people that have read that book. Here and there on the desolate surface of the island remains one of the mysterious structures stood. Long turned to ruins, several obsidian pillars protruding horizontally from its edges, stretching into the empty void like strange wharfs. The flying ship floated near one of them, fastening to it by the strong chains. Effie stared at the ebony tower and then turned to Sunny, her face uncharacteristically pale. I can't believe you made it all the way here alone. How did you even survive? Like, bro, fucking skill. Sunny hesitated and shrugged, barely and with a bit of luck. With that, he sighed and headed towards the dark tower. Near its doors, scroll down too much. Near its doors, it was time for the four of them to say goodbye to the firekeepers. Cassie's cohort and the rest were not going to follow them into the nightmare. Some would maybe challenge their own in the future when they felt ready, but 1 year was really not enough to prepare most of the Awakened for this harrowing trial. Instead, the firekeepers were going to remain on the Obsidian Island. Some were going to establish a temporary base, while the others would guide the flying ship back to the Sanctuary of Noctis, and then return with more supplies and enough materials to continue working on the vessel itself. Okay, that's good. In that manner, they would travel between the sky below and the Chained Isles, awaiting the return of the challengers for as long as needed. The farewell was a bit emotional, at least on part of the members of Cassie's cohort. She entrusted the command of it to Shim the healer and turned away. Oh, so they're putting the healer in charge. Okay. The silver half mask obscuring her expression. No one knew if they were going to see each other again. Wow, this really is fucking bittersweet. For the survivors of the Forgotten Shore, parting with those who they cared about was nothing new. However, it never became easy. Bro, if there is any artwork, please tell me, because this shit sounds so fucking hype, bro. Sunny opened the gates of the Ebony Tower and guided the others into the dark halls, ascending one level after another. Effie and Kai were looking around, curiously mixing with fear on their faces. Cassie fell terribly on the second level where the herring rot had once grown... Oh, from the hand. Where the herring rot had once grown from the severed arm of a deity, but did not say anything. The Hall of the Ruins affected her even worse. Kai and Effie were guiding through it by Sunny, their eyes tightly shut by the blind girl that could not do the same. Her keen intuition and enhanced senses sometimes were akin to a curse. However, for the very same reason, her mental resilience... Oh, almost hit the power cord. I almost hit my power cable. However, for that very same reason, her mental resilience was also unmatched. She gritted her teeth and persevered. Finally, they reached the last level of the drowsy stone arch of the portal with divine flame, taking turn feeding to their soul essence to the cruel side with their combined efforts. Activating it did not take as long as when Sunny had tried to do it alone. Soon they were standing inside a graceful white gazebo. The portal disappeared behind them. In front of them, though, was a tranquil and haven of the Ivory Island. Oh, I can almost see the end. Slates of shattering marble floated around it. There was a beautiful meadow near the gazebo and a peaceful I am sweaty, bro. And a peaceful grove of trees, their branches rustling under the gentle wind. Some distance away, connecting to the gazebo by a stone pathway, stood the magnificent pagoda built out of pristine white marble that was neither stone nor wood. It was a beautiful, graceful, and slightly surreal, as if too sublime to exist in the mortal realm. And around it, the bones of a dead dragon, the fucking remains of a dead dragon? And around it, the bones of a dead dragon lay, reflecting the radiant light of the sun. They walked past the clear lake and through the jaws of the great beast, finally entering the solemn darkness of the ancient Hall of Chains. Where hope had once been bound, once inside, the four of them froze, suddenly overwhelmed by fatigue. 7 chains lay... Isn't that where... Wasn't fucking Mordred fucking bound by 7 chains? 7 chains lay on the pristine white floor in front of them, each ending in a broken shackle. The shackles were marred and torn, their mangled surface inscribed with a myriad of runes. A strange shimmering rose from their surface in ethereal wisps, coalescing into a chaotic, ever-changing mass of pure darkness that pulsated in the very center of the great hall. No? Okay. But it was in darkness. I'm trying to remember how they were bound. Well, because in the artwork with Mordred, it looked like he was bound by chains, but I couldn't remember if it was 7 chains or not. But it was in darkness, not really. Instead, it was a rift in the fabric of reality, one that could devour even light itself. Ah, got it. Hypnotized by the massage of the seed, Sunny felt it deep in his soul. The magnetic, insidious call of the nightmare. This time, finally, he was going to answer it. Sunny sighed, then looked at his companions. So fucking cool. So fucking sick, dude. Artistic interpretation, not canon. Thank you. Okay, that makes sense. They had already said everything that needed to be said, discussed everything that could be discussed. There was no reason to linger. Are you ready? Effie, Kai, and Cassie remained silent for a while, staring at the pulsating darkness. Their faces were pale and vulnerable, devoid of the useful masks of confidence. Finally, the blind girl whispered, "What are we waiting for? It is just..." Fucking Cassie, dude. It's just a second nightmare. Sunny smiled and suddenly laughed. Indeed. Oh, Sunny smiled at her joke. Dude, they're fucking friends again, bro. I feel like they have enough trust now. Like, I feel like maybe they're not where they once were in Volume 1, but I feel like there's definitely more trust than at the start of Volume 3. I feel like they're slowly at a better point than where they were in the beginning. Indeed. With that, he gripped her shoulder for a moment and then stepped forward, heading towards a pulsating rift in reality. So fucking cool. I'm getting goosebumps, dude. With each step, the world seemed to be dim and a little, turning darker and darker. Effie, Kai, and Cassie followed, and a few moments later, they were gone. The Hall of Chains were gone too. Sunny found himself standing alone in complete darkness, surrounded by utter nothingness. In this nothingness, he heard the voice of the spell. Awakened. Prepare for your second trial. Oh my god, I can see the fucking end. I already know the volume title's at the end. What the volume title has to be something related to the sky below, the Prince of Nothingness, Prince of War. It has to be something related to, like, I don't know, like something on the temple, right? We'll find out. He smiled darkly, just like the first one. Well, let's see where I land this time. I doubt that it can be any worse than before. He fucking jinxed himself. It's gonna be worse. The voice of the spell thundered again, making him shiver. 5 brave ones, welcome to the nightmare. Oh my god! Oh, I fucking knew it! I fucking knew it! It's Mordred! It's him! He's fucking latched onto Sunny! I fucking knew it! I fucking knew it! Mordred is going into the fucking second... Oh, I'm about to pass out. Mordred is going into the same fucking nightmare. Why did I fucking say that earlier? The second one, they went down. I'm like, wait, so what happened with him? Like, he disappeared? I'm like, no, he's probably still lashed onto Sunny because he was able to fucking talk whenever he wants. Holy fucking shit. Dude, Mordred is such a fucking badass. Oh my god. This fucking next volume is not going to be so fucking kumbaya, huh? Oh my god, it's gonna be so bad. He's gonna be fucking scheming. Oh my god, the only way for them to get strong is if they make such an evil, sinister bitch strong. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to call Mordred a bitch. He killed a lot of people. It has to. If it's something else, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. 5 brave ones. Welcome to the nightmare. The darkness move turning into... What a fucking crazy cliffhanger. The darkness move turning into something else. Something different. Sunny, however, was the... I can't read, dude. Sunny, however, was not paying any attention. Wait, 5? Did it say 5? Who's the fifth one? What? He didn't get to finish that thought, though. His vision cleared, revealing it's fucking Mordred. End of Volume 3 Chained Isles. We fucking did it! Dude! Why do people say this is a bad volume? I'm fucking spitting. I am so stupidly sweaty right now. Why do people say this is a bad volume? I was there. Bro, congrats congrats to the fucking 100 plus of you guys here joining, man. You guys are crazy. Bro, and you're almost at chapter 1,000. Oh my God. This was a... Do I say it? In retrospect, is this my favorite volume? I don't think I can say that. I don't think I can say in retrospect this is my favorite volume. But there was so much more world building in this volume. Omedito, easy? What does Omedito mean? Sunny? Omedito. What is Omedito? Volume 3 has a fair bit of issues, to be fair. Forgotten Shore was better. No, like, I 100% agree with you guys. Forgotten Shore is the best fucking arc, period. And any web novel I have read for like a introductory arc. Yes, the hype moments are very, very hype. And the low moments, yeah, I guess you can say they're low. But I like the low moments. Like, I guess I'm weird. I like all the funny slice of life, bittersweet stuff that happens. Like when Rain was like, "What the fuck, Sonny? You know Kai?" Like I love all that. I don't see any issues. I don't say I see any issues with Volume 3. I feel like the pacing could have been a little bit quicker. Like at least for the first half. But I feel like all of the slow moments in the world building was to fucking set up that fucking cliffhanger ending. Holy shit, bro. Volume 3 is a really good volume. The slice of life isn't my lowest personally. Oh, okay. So other parts. If you like Sunny being tortured, you will love all the books. No. That's scary, dude. Nothing strange. That's what makes the book good. Dude, it is so good. It is so good. So I think it's safe to say that my current ranking is 213. My favorite volume is volume 2. Second favorite volume 1, 3. From greatest to least, 213. I think, no. I think I like, no, I fucking lied out of my ass. I like volume 3 more than volume 1. So my current ranking is 231. Yeah, that's, Gregory, we're on the same track. Volume 1 is really, really good, but all the world building and shit and all the beautiful character development that we've already known, I feel like 1 is at a disadvantage because we're just getting to know them. And from what I remember in volume 1, we didn't get that much character development. It was mostly just like into the action. Now someone gets it, the greatness of the Lord Mongrel. I fucking get it. I think the volume 1 was more of an introduction. It was cool, but I think 3 is cooler. Yeah, like, and if you were to put volume 1 and 2 together, like all of Forgotten Shores and volume 3, Chained Isles, I still think Forgotten Shore comes out on top. But if we're going specifically by the volume names, 2, 3, 1. 1 and 2 is combined. Yeah, I know 1 and 2 is technically combined because it's one arc spread through 2 volumes. But I'm just going based on what it is. 1 was a prelude for 2 and 3, and then there's 3, and then there's for 4. But volume 1 did have the soul devouring tree. You know, this is, and I'm weird. I think the soul devouring tree for me was the slowest part in volume 1. And that's saying something because everything else was very, very hype. And that was only slow for like 5 chapters. I think volume 1 does its job perfectly compared to volume 3 and what it was meant to do overall. Yeah, you see, it was good. It was a very good introduction arc. The fucking ending with when Neff is like fucking losing a limb and all this shit, and then she's like regenerating, super fucking cool. You need to get a Cucurella wig and wear it during the nightmare. A what wig? A what kind of wig? Let me look this up. A what? Bro, I can't believe fucking Mordred was lashed onto Sunny. Now the shit I'm trying to figure out, I'm not getting a wig. What the fuck is, no, I'm not wearing that. Oh, that's so fucking funny. Easy, yes. You guys already know my theory. I still believe that the tree is burning. To this day, the tree has been fucking burning for like over a year. Eventually, the tree will burn. I'm losing my voice, and it will die. And when we actually kill the fucking tree, that's gonna be the final little gap Sunny needs for him to reach his next tier. Whatever's happening, there's gonna come a point where like, oh fuck, like I'm too weak. I haven't been able to level up, and all of a sudden, fate, you have slain the soul devouring tree. And he's like, what the fuck? The tree is still burning? I still fucking believe that's gonna happen one day. I think you're really gonna like this nightmare. I'm so excited, dude. People were kind of like scaring me. G3, is that you? Fuck yeah, it's me. The artwork channel. I still believe. Let me change the chatting. I still believe wholeheartedly that I forgot what I was gonna say. I still believe wholeheartedly. What the fuck was I gonna say, dude? Let's look at the artwork first as I try and fucking remember what I was trying to say. Oh, we missed out on so much artwork. Oh my god, there's so much artwork we missed. So, this is where they were trapped. Oh, I see the little dip. I'm so dumb. I had it the other way. I thought it was like going up, like the letter N, and like they were at the top, right? Like they were at the top of the N, and I didn't realize it was like a U where they were at the. I guess I misinterpreted that. Got it. I thought the shape was an N, but it was actually a U. Okay, that I did mess up. And this was their only source of light, and eventually that dimmed away. That was a really cool visual. Oh, is that the fucking mirror reflection? That is so... Is this when... No, okay, see? So, does Sunny still have the shard with him or no? He doesn't have it anymore. So, how the fuck is he... Oh, Morjet was kind of right. Remember when he was like, why can't I have 2 vessels? Is Sunny still in a way like a partial vessel? Like, is that what's going on here? Live chat, did Mordred latch to Sunny? I think if so, when could Saint bring him to Sunny? I meant she kind of knew about him and didn't like what Valor did. No, I think he's still latched onto him. I feel like because he's still kind of like a parasite type of guy, or like his aspects are very parasite-y. I feel like at the very end, when he had a fallback and he realized he couldn't do anything, he probably locked... Oh, this is probably what happened. When he fought Saint Cormac, he probably latched onto him just like how he latched onto Sunny. And then vice versa, he latched onto Tyrese. And then when Tyrese went to Sunny, he latched on back to Sunny. I think that's what's gonna happen. He can say in eye reflections. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say, Bomber. Don't worry, that's not a spoiler. And the only reason he was able to do this is because he's jumping through their eyes. Right? So from his eyes, he jumped into Saint Cormac, and then from Saint Cormac, he jumped into Saint Tyrese, and then from Saint Tyrese, he jumped into Sunny because Sunny didn't realize, like, oh, what if he's still there? Like, we just don't know where he is. Oh shit. And do you think when Saint Tyrese was the one speaking to fucking Sunny? No. Mordred was the one speaking to Sunny as Saint Tyrese. You're gonna dip? Enjoy the rest of your stream, brother? Yo, take care, man. We'll chat about Shadow Sleeve soon, man. This shit is so fucking fire. That's why Saint Tyrese, when I feel so famished, because he's been fucking fighting down there for like over a month. He was able to possess him. He was able to possess her. When he takes you as a vessel... Wait, hold up. Oh, yeah, wait, yes. When he takes you as a vessel, he kills your soul, bro. But, like, he was still able to kind of stay latched onto Sunny for time being. And, you know, he purposely tells people, like, oh, it's like, I can only do it through actual mirrors. Like, who knows if he's not hiding something else? Master Pierce. Yeah, it's fucking cool-ass artwork. It's cool. He looks like a character from Stormlight Archive. That's cool. Lady Wealth. No, I'm not saying he's killing them. Like, he probably has another aspect where he can't fully possess someone, but he can partially just hold on to them, like how he held on to Sunny. That's what, like, there's probably still something else that I don't know about. Don't lick your lips, Easy. I'm not dude, I'm licking my lips because my mouth is chapped. I've been yapping for almost 3 hours, bro. I've been locked in today. At least I think I'm locked in. Help me keep track of characters. Respect to all artists. That's why we're only missing faces and generating the rest art from the Shadowsave wiki, except for Jet. Okay, respect to all the artists. That's why only missing faces are generated. The rest are from the Shadowsave wiki. Okay, the rest are from the Shadowsave wiki. So this is Sunless, Jet. Who the fuck is Rock? Wait. Did you guys just make Rock like a Giga Chad? Is that what you thought about deleting this one? Well, we've seen some of these by other artists over the year. I guess that makes sense. Okay. Rock is a fucking Giga Chad. It's so fucking stupid, but it's so funny. Oh shit, dude. Aro of the 9. Okay, that guy was brought up with Nephis. Nephis, our glorious queen, Julius. Scholar. Who is Scholar? Is Scholar the one that's tagging along with Aro? Or is it those two? Caster? Fuck him. I'm sorry. Some people love him, so we'll wait. I assume that implies we'll probably get more on his character down the road, so we'll save it. Shifty from the Forgotten Shore. And Cassie. Okay, this is Forgotten Shore. Volume 1, Child of Shadows. Oh yeah, for a second, I forgot Volume 2 was called Demon of Change. Volume 2, Demon of Change. Kai. Kiddo. I don't remember Kiddo. Andel. We remember Andel. Effie. Beautiful, glorious queen. Say Sean was the one that was killing everybody, right? In the Dark Tower. Aiko. We love Aiko. Harper. R.I.P. Innocent person was killed for the greater good. Tessai. Stev. I don't remember Tessai and Stev. Gemma. I thought Gemma was a woman. I guess I was wrong. Harus. Fuck Harus. We killed him. Wait. Gunlug. Gunlug looks different in this artwork. Okay. Yeah, this was an AI one. I guess we could have used the artwork when he was in the armor, right? And then this is volume 3. Oh, I like how he hit the name just in case. Gunlog. Thank you, thank you. Oh, was that Gunlog? Did I say Gunlog? Did I mispronounce his name? Gunlog? Oh, hell no. Gunlag. Gunlog. Ah, it's all right. You know what I mean. It's all engagement bait if I'm mispronouncing it. Paradise in red. Kim Sathoff. What? No, wait. That's the guy from the Dreamscape, right? Wait, no, wait. Oh, that's so fucking stupid. Such a funny ass fucking name, dude. Still mispronouncing Gunlog volume. Gunlog. Goonerlog. Sorry, got it. Goonerlog. Leo Striker. Fire Shing. I mean, Gunlog. Loof. Diost. That is a cultivator enthusiast. Diced Sayfair. Dar of Maharana. Dinosaur. The Fool. Straw Hat. Luffy. Saint Thane. Commentator Siculus. The Other Fool. Queen Bee. Cool mask. Commendator Demi. Cool beard. Blue Vash. He has the V for Vendetta mustache. And Morgan of Valor. We love Morgan of Valor. We saw this one earlier. Mordred in the fucking reflections. This is fucking cool. Sunless and his victim. What does that mean? Sunless. I'm sorry. Am I looking at Sun Jin Woo? What's going on here? Is this Sun Jin Woo? You can have one without the other. Saint Tyrese. Oh yeah, she has her lightning abilities. Oh, that's where the thunderclap sound was coming from. Fucking insane. I've seen this meme go around a lot. That's funny. Look him up. Sunless and his victim. I feel like I get spoiled if I look that up. Sunny and Nephis' first night together on the Forgotten Shore. Why you're burdening yourself with her? Why wouldn't you? No. Aw. Flaw, clear conscience, flaw description, you cannot lie. Aw, that's sad. Is this Saint? Mommy Saint? That's so cool. You know what she looks like? She looks like fucking Saber. She kind of looks like Saber right here. Sunny and Jinwoo. Bro, is this not fucking Jinwoo? Who is this? Jinwoo always wears this. I would literally show you my figure. It literally looks like Sun Jinwoo. Look at that. That's Sun Jinwoo. That's Sun Jinwoo. He has the same black coat with the white shirt, and he's holding a red dagger. That's Sun Jinwoo. Who is that? I don't know who that is. So Saint looks like fucking Saber right here. Saber Alter. Oh, Jiwoo is actually Sunny's victim. If ICL, what does ICL mean again? Version 1 and version 2. I think it looks cool with like the second light dashing. With the second light glowing. You are in what do you mean? Gothic Jet? God damn. You think Jiwoo was Sunny's victim? That wasn't Jiwoo, it was Jet? This is not Jet. Oh, I fucking unhinged is you unhinged. I fucking believed you. I fucking fell for it. How the fuck did I fall for that? I'm very grateful and very sorry for what's about to happen next. My glorious off-screen demon Mordred. Damn. Oh, is this when he was killing all the people? In the fucking shadows? Insane. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? Sunny and the Undying Chain. Cool ass armor. That is Kai with his bow. That is not Kai. That's not a bow. That can't be. Y'all fucking trolling me. Really? Is that what it is? Only the original artist can tell me what's going on. Is this Sunny and Hero from the first Nightmare? What's going on here? Oh, that is so fucking cool, bro. I feel like I'm reading Bleach with a half hollow mask. Can you read the description in the memory Discord? Yeah, we'll look it up right now. I got you. 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 There's more characters. Rowan, Firekeeper Ganthy, Firekeeper Erlis, Tyrese, Saint Tyrese, Firekeeper Shim, Pierce, Rain, Firekeeper Caro, Welf, Kurt, Firekeeper Sid, Mordred, Firekeeper Scott T, Firekeeper Gorn, Cormac. Since most readers might not remember these Firekeepers, Shakti, Bow and Arrow, one with the plant growth aspect, Gantry, Heavy Battle Axe, one who makes weapon sharper, Shim, Spear and Shield, one who has her healer, Karo, Jack of all trades, one who was a carpenter, Sid, Sword and Shield, one with dirty blonde hair, Gorn, two great swords, one with the aspect of 4 arms, I forgot about that one, Erlis, curved sword, one who physically augments the other. Okay. Man, there's a lot of good stuff. Wait, so this is the one for Cruel Side. Oh! That's so cool. I gotta look at that right now. So this is for the Cruel Side, correct? Okay, so the Cruel Side. Full of pride, the noble knight made a deal with the Dream Spawn. Years later, the knight had defeated all his enemies and became a mighty king. So I assume this is referencing Mordred. On the day his son uttered his first word, On the day his son uttered his first word, the Dreamspawn came to the king and demanded his pay. He left the kingdom with the child and disappeared. So this is talking about Mordred's father and how he had to give him up to a Dreamspawn. He left the kingdom with the child and disappeared, never to be seen again. Much later, the young prince returned, so the Prince of Nothing returned. The young prince returned and stood beneath his father's throne. He expected to be met with joy and warmth, but was met with fear and suspicion instead. That's Cruel Sight description after Sunny killed Mirror Beast. Oh, that's sad. What the fuck? So that's kind of explains why. That explains why Mordred hates the Dream Spawn so much. He's like, ugh, you fucking reek of fucking Dream Spawn. Because, like, they fucking did all that shit to him.
Go lost from life.
Wait. Look at this artwork. I feel like we can react to this. All the artwork from the... I'm sorry, this is from the German edition, right? Russian edition? Bro, dude, this artwork better be in the official EN one. It's insane how good this German edition looks. Like, this looks so fucking good. Oh, you got your book last weekend. So fucking sick, man. It's so insanely impressive. He looks fucking incredible in the last one. Emir, I was trying to make him read and I was already giving up. Oh, you were giving up? No, I'm sorry. I have bad tunnel vision, so I forget sometimes. But guys, we fucking did it. We fucking finished volume 3. It has taken us over a year and some change to get to chapter 601, volume 4. Now here, you can tell me this. I don't find chapter counts a spoiler. You can give me like a rough estimate because it sets up expectations for me. Like, okay, so I'll be done around this point. And it also, congratulations, my dude. Congratulations to an awesome ass fucking chat. It also helps hype me up knowing like, hey, I need to push myself on Mama's Own volume 4. Now Unc will hibernate another 6 months. No, man, I'm gonna hibernate for a week and catch up on other videos. But we'll start volume 4 hopefully sometime this weekend, maybe in 2-3 days. I do want to react to a few RMGI videos so I can pump those out every other day. We made it to volume 3. Okay, volume 4 does not end at chapter 2030. So here, you guys can tell me this. You can tell me like a rough chapter count of when the series ends. You can be like, not the series. You can be like, volume 4 ends at like 750. Volume 4 ends at 800. Like, you can tell me that much and I'll be like, okay. You can even tell me the specific chapter and I don't think I'll find that as a spoiler. Okay, 150 chapters. That's pretty short. Okay, short and sweet. Volume 4 has 150 chapters. Okay, so we will be done around chapter 750. Ooh, all right. See, that's not a spoiler. Us hype in fucking deed. All right. If you like what you see and you want to see more, because I am slowly losing my voice, so I will need a day to recover. I might just be playing video games tonight. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can do it easy. We're going to do it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video with your friends and your cohorts alike. Turn on the bell icon. Sharing the video, I feel like, helps a lot. I look at the statistics at the end of every month. It's really cool. I find it cool how my view count for the last month is somehow almost at 100,000 total views. Or I think the last 48 days, or I have to double check. But I find it crazy how like my stats are almost at 100K views. And like, I was gonna make a video when we passed 1,000 videos on the channel. We have somehow already passed 1,000 videos on the channel. I thought I was like 700, 600. I fucking looked at it, it's like, what the fuck? I'm at 1,050 videos? What? It's like, that's fucking insane. It's congratulations to you guys. Damn, I started at 1 a.m. It's already 5 a.m. I am so sorry. You still have Audrey cosplay? The Audrey, hey. Audrey cosplay during the full movie review. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We just got 9 more years, but it's gonna happen. All right, it's gonna happen. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it work. That being said, if you like what you see and you want to see more, I am gonna take just a few days off from Shadow Slave. Yeah, at least from reading. I'll probably be reacting to more series. Like RMJI, and maybe I'll record a few link cage videos so I can have those hopefully weekly sometime soon while we do our RMJI as much as we can. But if you're looking forward to that, tune in. And then we're still putting some like Lord of the Mysteries game videos up on the channel. I think one will go up. I'll just make it public in like an hour. Bro, I don't want a grandpa doing teenager girl cosplay. Fucking grandpa, what do you mean, bro? I'm fucking 21, dude. What are you talking about? I am forever 21. I have been 21 since I made it this YouTube channel, and we will always be 21. I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys take care. Love you all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. To the best chat on YouTube. Peace. Have a good day. Oh, wow. It literally hit the hour. I need to call the missus and ask her how ready she can be and see if she can be spontaneous. Love you all. Peace. Have a good day.